Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you are doing on YouTube, there's a form down in the description of this video right now where you can go and put your question, and I answer them in the order that they come in. So if you have a question, get it in there now so we can answer it here on today's show. Because my goal by the end of this is for you to have a deeper understanding of YouTube so that you can get more views, you can get more subscribers, you can get all the stuff that you're trying to do as a YouTube content creator. I also want to let you know that this stream is brought to you, made possible, whatever you want to call it, by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. It'll help you optimize your videos for discovery. It'll help you test your thumbnails to make sure what it is that you're doing is effective. It'll help you not swallow so much water when you just said that you almost all right. So it'll help you optimize your videos, help you test your thumbnails. It'll help you do bulk updates on your channel and a bunch of other really cool things that a lot of all content creators use on their YouTube channels. So the tool specifically built for YouTubers. You can try it out for free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. A link to it's down in the description below, or you can just go to tubebuddy.com, your call. If you are under 1,000 subscribers, they actually give you a discount, which is pretty cool if you decide to upgrade. This stream is co-sponsored by StreamYard. And StreamYard is what I use to live stream this live stream with every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. It's an amazing, a little bit early today because I was like, hey, it's a new year. Let's just go ahead and do this, right? I'm not going to just sit around and wait around. So I'm like pumped to have the first stream of the new year. So, but StreamYard is the easiest live streaming platform ever. It's all web-based, so you can even use StreamYard if you have a computer that's a potato in terms of, it's not strong and it's all laggy and everything like that. It makes it super easy. You can add graphics to it, just like I have this sponsor thing up on the screen right now. And I'll change it here just so you can see like an example of what I mean and how easy it is. So while you're doing it, you can see that stuff on the screen. It even curates your comments for you. It allows you to pin some comments to the stream. Like let's go ahead and pin somebody here. Let's go ahead and do expat information. You can see expat information pops up right there on the screen. So that's the kind of stuff that StreamYard does. So if you are a live streamer, definitely check it out. You can go to streamyard.com. Check that out for yourself. And I'll be mentioning those throughout the rest of the stream, of course. So first off, as we get into this, I just want to go ahead and say Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. 2021. Last year, I mean, it was like this, right? I don't know about you, but for me, last year, it just seems like it's I don't know, May right now for me in my brain. So that we're already in 2021 is crazy. But I hope that you had an awesome New Year's celebration. That you had a great holiday so far, and that you are ready this year in 2021 to rock on your YouTube channel. So before we get into the questions, since this is the first stream of the year, some things I want to talk to you about. First is that last year in 2020, there were a lot of channels that started, and they got started during, this time, like, hey, it's the beginning of the year. Let me start a YouTube channel and see, if I can get this whole thing going. Let me see if I can figure this out, make some videos, see if I can grow a community. A lot of people grew channels to substantial amounts. A lot of people just got the ball rolling a little bit. And, a lot of people also quit YouTube because they didn't want to put in the effort, or they just didn't see the opportunity, or they just lost interest overall. So what I encourage you to do at the beginning of this year, like right now, if you haven't done this yet, is to just sit down and with a piece of paper when you have time, or on your phone, or, just however, if you have to record it with your voice, whatever it is that you got to do, and actually write down goals for your YouTube channel that are not based on views and subscribers. Now, of course, the information that we're going to be talking about here in this stream today, we're going to be talking about, through the questions that are answered, how you can, get much or a lot of views and subscribers on YouTube and a bunch of other content creator, things that we deal with as creators. However, what I want you to focus on is, when you're writing your goals down for your YouTube channel, if you want to be one of those channels that this time next year is, it has momentum, and, you're making some money from YouTube, you have consistent views coming in, you get, daily subscriber amounts in the hundreds or thousands, or depending on your channel, maybe tens, like 10,000 or whatever it happens to be. So what I want you to do is I want you to just think really hard about what it is that you actually want from your YouTube channel. And this is going to sound kind of silly to some of you possibly, but to others of you, this might resonate a little bit. But what I would love for you to do is just think about it and try to picture, like, if your YouTube channel went exactly like you would like it to be over the course of 2021, what would that look like for you on 2022 on this day, which I think is the 2nd here locally. So if it's the 2nd of January of 2022, if everything ideally went exactly how you would like it to go on your YouTube channel, just think about it and think like, what type of views would that look like to me? What type of subscriber gain would that look like to me? Because I know, even though I say don't think about views and subscribers, you're going to, but then think about, okay, how much money would I be generating for my YouTube channel that would help sustain me, as a content creator, or help pay for my hobby, or just help me get a new phone because I make videos on my phone, or help me get a new camera if my camera goes down because I need a camera to make videos, to where it's paying for that kind of stuff. Think about if you are going to design your lifestyle in any type of way this year, within the current, restrictions that we have in, some places in the world right now. But if you're going to design like your day to day, because a lot of people, as a lot of people are like working from home, and because of that, they don't have that commute time, and they can really put more effort into their YouTube channels and more time into what it is that they're doing here on YouTube. So just think about what you want that to look like, and think of all of the different things around your channel. Think of like, okay, in a perfect situation, this time next year, my set might look like this. The content creators that I would be talking to online in private groups, they would be these types of creators. The amount of money that I'd be making would be something that would sustain me, through the gear, whatever it happens to be. The way that I would feel when I would wake up in the morning would be, like this. I would be excited to make videos, or I would think like, hey, I don't have to make a video today. I've already made a bunch of videos, for the month or for the week, and I'm queued up, and I can just kind of relax and just kind of chill out because, YouTube is taking care of all of that stuff for me in terms of me not having to think about it because I've already thought ahead. I got videos scheduled. YouTube's just going to publish them. I just got to be on my phone going through comments, things like that. But really kind of vision it out in terms of, what it is that you need and what it is that you are wanting from your YouTube channel, and try, because I know views and subscribers are important here on YouTube, but try to not make it solely based on views and subscribers, even if it's things like this. By this time next year, I want to massively improve my camera presentation. And when I present on camera, I want it to be like this. Or this time next year, I want to be such a good editor that I can edit just like XYZ, right? Whatever creator it is that you happen to like right now. Anything like that. Just try to define what it is that you're after, and literally write it down and put it wherever it is that you make your videos, where it is you edit your videos, or wherever it is that you sit if you're on your phone, when you're putting your videos together, and just put it there. Maybe even on a notepad on your phone, your wallpaper on your phone, so that over the course of 2021, you constantly are reminded, hey, this is what I'm after. So even right now, as I'm trying to get that momentum, if you're getting the momentum, great, you're still on that right path. But if your momentum is slower, you can look at those things and you can say, okay, I'm not like, I want views, I want subscribers, I want all that stuff, but I'm also wanting to achieve these things as well. So let me stay focused on these things, because if you can work through the process, and this is a really important thing to understand when it comes to YouTube. If you can work through the process of dedicating yourself to actually uploading videos on a regular basis, right? Because you have to work it into your lifestyle. But if you can dedicate yourself to the process of uploading YouTube videos consistently, and if you can dedicate yourself to that, and if you can dedicate yourself to building skills and, like getting better at each individual aspect of being a content creator, by this time next year, you will be a much better content creator, and you will have results on YouTube. Because here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube, a lot of people think that there's like all this magic involved, not real magic, but you know what I mean? Like in terms of like, oh, well, you have to get lucky with the video, or, you have to have like all these things going on. But here's the reality. As you develop your skills in terms of editing, making thumbnails, and reading and interpreting the statistics that YouTube gives you for your channel and your videos, like as you start getting better at each one of those things, your channel will start doing better, because what you're doing is you're honing in on your ability to get a response from the viewers on the platform, from the people that are interacting with your content. And you're through the camera presence that you're developing, you are basically training yourself to give a better experience to the viewers. When you are learning how to edit better, you're training yourself to give a better experience for the viewers. When you are learning how to make better thumbnails and learning how to write better titles, you're training yourself to be able to get those viewers to click. So as you start going through these processes, the sum of it is that you end up with a much better or a very successful YouTube channel. So because of that, I just want you to, I just wanted to take a moment and just say, please write down your goals and look at them every single day and say, okay, this is what it is that I'm trying to accomplish on the platform. If you're somebody that is like taking this seriously and you're trying to really grow here on the platform, and you're trying to use YouTube as one of the things that you're going to use to grow your influence here in 2020 online. Now, of course, other platforms as well. You've got all kinds of stuff competing nowadays. I don't know if any of you are on Clubhouse or not. If you're in the Clubhouse app, definitely look for me there at Nick Nimmin. My brother D and I, we're going to be having a lot of conversations, and everybody else on there too. We're going to be having tons of conversations with content creators about growing their channels, and some Q&A type stuff like this about, growing your YouTube channel. So make sure that you're following me and D, my brother D Nimmin. So same name, same last name, just DEE in the front. That's both of us. Make sure you're following us over there so that you can, be involved in those conversations as well. So without further ado, I just want to say that I wish everybody just amazing results and just happiness and a great experience on YouTube and off in your offline life as well. I hope that you just have an amazing 2021. So now, with all of that out of the way, let's get into the actual content today. So, okay. So the very first question that we have here, I know there are some super chats that came in, so let me go ahead and get this page opened up. Hey, Paul Peck, what's up, dude? I hope that you're doing awesome. Paul Peck saying he's shooting for 200,000 subscribers in 2021. And Paul, I believe that you can do it, my friend. And I'm sure that you do as well, because you're crushing it already. So let's see here. Let me go into the list and do these in the order that they are received, and then we'll jump into the form. So the very first question here is from 2 Quacks, 5 Clucks Farm. Says, try coffee that has been steeped in Boston bourbon barrels. It's so good. Happy New Year, Nick. You know what? I've never even thought of it. Like, here's a funny thing. So when it comes to coffee, right? So we're gonna go off topic here for 1 second. So when it comes to coffee, until 10 years ago, I wasn't really a coffee drinker. I started drinking coffee like a lot of people, as I really need to pick me up. Let me go get a candy drink, right? It was a caramel macchiato. I was like, let me go get a candy drink. And then it slowly evolved into now I need a candy drink. And then it slowly evolved from there into oh my gosh, these candy drinks are horrible for you. I didn't even realize it. Let me start switching to something else. So I started switching. Now I'm all black on the coffee. But yeah, I because of that process, it's typically been, from Starbucks and chain stores and stuff. But I will definitely look into that. They have a lot of here, because I'm in Thailand, I'm in Chiang Mai, and we have tons of local coffee here as well. So I do try some of that from time to time, but I'll look into that.
Super chat.
Freedom Stacker, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Keith Barker, thank you for the super sticker. That's a big one. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Great way to start the year. Savvy Turtle, what's up, my man? Nice to see you in here. Says, thanks, Nick, for all you've done this past year for us. Anyone who doesn't binge your content and take full advantage while taking action as you go is their loss. Totally agree. Absolutely agree. It's my content. Other people who make content like me, because if you listen to, and here's another thing too, is if you listen to my channel and you listen to all of the other channels out there that make content about growing YouTube channels, we all say the same stuff, right? We all say the same thing. Make sure you focus on your viewers. Make sure that you can upload consistently. This is how you come up with video ideas. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. We all say the same stuff, right? And the reason that we all say the same stuff is because it's the stuff that actually works. Because YouTube, again, it's not like magic, right? It's a system. It's a process of developing the skills that you need, and a process of understanding how to make the right decisions around the content that you're putting out, so that you don't have one video do great and then you have all the videos after that tank because you don't understand why that one video did great, as an example.
Super chat.
See here, Radical Readings. Thank you for the super sticker. Says, thanks for being you. Thank you for that as well. Super appreciated, guys. So the very first question that we have here is from Hair Tutorials. Hair Tutorials, if you are in the chat, Adoption with Nairi, I definitely will. Hair Tutorials, you have a great 2021 as well. Hair Tutorials says that they do hairdressing tutorials. I actually had, I was listening to a conversation on Clubhouse about YouTube. How many here, just give me a hashtag me. If you're on Clubhouse, let me know. And while I'm waiting for that to come in, for everybody else, share this out on Twitter, share this out on Facebook, anywhere where you know that YouTubers are hanging out. Share this out. Let's get some more YouTubers in here and start 2021 off right. Share this information with everybody. Jay White says, any unique advice for a new original cartoon series channel? Absolutely. So if you have a new original series cartoon channel, I would try to collaborate as much as you possibly can with other people that have animation channels of any kind. But at the very core of it, when you are doing unique cartoon animation content on YouTube, make sure that your thumbnails are awesome. And by awesome, you're going to have to go through the learning process in terms of figuring out what that is for your channel specifically. But what I would do in that situation is I would say, okay, these are what the other cartoon or animation channels are doing. These are the videos and the thumbnails that seem to get the results. So because of that, I'm going to do, something that's kind of similar like that. In a lot of cases, it's all very simple. Like they don't overcomplicate things. They don't try to tell the whole story in a thumbnail. They just try to tease people in, that way. In addition to that, another thing as well is, let's see here. Another thing with that as well is, if possible, because I know cartoons take a while to make, if you do have trending things that are coming up, there's something called tentpole events when it comes to content strategy. And with a tentpole event, basically it's called a tentpole event because over the course of the year, you have a line and then you have these spikes. So it looks kind of like a circus tent, right? So that's why it's called a tentpole. So basically the idea is that if things are coming up, certain holidays, certain events that, people have tons of interest in, maybe it's movie releases, things like that. Some of that you have to be careful with because of copyright, but if you see trends around things that you're interested in or the things that the masses are interested in, if possible, try to make some cartoons around that sort of thing as well, if time allows, because again, I know it takes a long time to make the content, but if time allows, make content around those types of things. And the reason for that is because as those things start happening and they start building up, then in that situation, the interest around those things are extremely heightened, and that can bring a lot of attention to your YouTube content at those points in time. So definitely make sure that you're kind of, looking into the future, so to speak, over the course of the year and saying, okay, these are the types of things that are happening. These are the movies coming out. These are the, big things that are happening in the world. So these happen like clockwork every single year. So let me make sure that I make some content around that so I can tap into those interests. In addition to that, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this question, I would also make sure that you are trying to collaborate as much as you possibly can. But here's the thing. When you are making cartoon content is a really good fit. If you're making clever stuff, Reddit is a great place that you can share your videos and like our videos, for example. And if you do it around trends, then you can share it possibly in those in the subreddits around those points of interest. But Reddit can be a really good place for animation channels to share their content as well. So I would definitely look into that. Okay, so let's see here. Big Nacho 90 says, how do you provide the high quality video like now? So basically, this is all being done through a actual camera. So this isn't a webcam. This is a Sony a6500 with like a Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 lens on it. The one that's in my second shot up here, that's also a Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 lens with a Sony a6500 there as well. And then I have another one over here, which you'll see from time to time. You can actually see it here in the corner. This is a Sony 5100, which will actually save you a few bucks. And on this particular one, I also have that same lens as well, but I have all of that routing through the ATEM Mini. And then from the ATEM Mini, it's going into the computer, which then goes up to StreamYard, which actually, does the heavy lifting for the stream. So that's kind of the chain of what's going on, and that's the equipment that I'm using. And then this microphone is a Shure SM7B, and it's routing through the Rodecaster Pro that you see right back here with the little lights on it, that you see right back here in the background as well. Okay, so next up on our list here, we have actually, let me finish this hairdressing tutorial question really quick, because I started to kind of get into that, and I don't want to leave them hanging. So let me get through that, and then I'll hit the super chats that came in as well. So the goal of the channel, and when you're filling out this form, it's really important to make sure that you do put in the goal that you're trying to accomplish. And it's best if it's more than, if it's more than, hey, I'm just trying to get views, or if it's more than, I'm just trying to get more subscribers. If you can go a little bit deeper, that'd be awesome, because that helps me cater my question or my answer to exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish. But if you're just like, hey, I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I can tell you this, I'm trying to get more views and subscribers, and that's what you put in here, that's fine too. But I'm just saying, if you can be specific, that helps me cater the answer that I give you, or the opinion that I give you, either one, whichever one it happens to be, that helps me cater that in a better way, so that it's more focused on the goals that you have with your YouTube channel. So The question is, I'm very close to becoming monetized, and thanks to your tips, I'm heading in the right direction. My question is, some larger channels in my niche have started posting comments on my videos. They're nice comments, but they also are promoting their channel. I would like to work with some of these in the future, but I don't want to make them angry. But I feel a little bit annoyed at this. Is it usual and something that I should just put up with, or should I take down the comments? Can I have your opinion, please? Okay, so that's a great question. So if you have other channels that are commenting on your channel. So if you have, like, let's say that you're, like in this case, you have a hairdressing channel, and then you have other hairdressers that are in there and they're commenting on your stuff. If they're just interacting with your comments, then it's totally cool, because you are now a part of that hairdressing community. Just like in my situation, I'll go over and I'll leave comments on Brian G. Johnson's videos. I'll go leave comments on my brother D's videos. I'll leave comments on TubeBuddy videos. I'll leave comments on Matt Gielan's videos over at Little Monster Media Company. I'll leave comments over on the Video Influencers channel, right? Just to name a few, Daryl Eve's channel, Tim Schmoyer's channel, like everybody, right? Like all the people that you guys watch for YouTube help stuff. Like Catherine Manning, I'll leave comments on her channel, and Annie, I'll leave comments on hers as well. But and Salma Jaffrey, like I can just keep going, right? There's so many of them out there. But basically, the cool thing about that is that you're in the community. So because of that, like I watch some of their videos. Some of them watch my videos, just like you probably watch some of the other people that are commenting on yours as well. So that's part of the community aspect of YouTube, and it's cool, right? So in addition to that, you have to think like, okay, if they're interacting in the community, that's cool. If they're trying to siphon, that's something completely different. So if they're in your comment section and they're like, hey, Christian Reddy, nice to see you here, man. Hey, Beanie Draws, what's up, dude? Hope that you're doing awesome. It's been a while. Doug Houston, what's going on, my man? Nice to see you in here as well. But basically, like if you have them in your comment section and they are like, Herman, what's up, dude? Happy New Year to you as well. But if they're in your comment section and they're like, hey, come and check out my channel, or if you have a video about like, because you said hairdressing. So if your content is like, hey, here's how you do like, certain curls or something like that. And then they're like, oh, hey, I made a video about this too. You should come check mine out. And it was unsolicited. You didn't tell them to do that, or you didn't have any type of interaction with them to encourage that. In that case, I would personally delete it. Anytime that I have a YouTube help channel that's trying to, kind of get the ball rolling on their channel, and they come into my comment section and they start doing that sort of thing, I'll delete their comments and I'll ban them from the channel. If they come in and they're just interacting in the community, just like, everybody else, just like I do on their channels, then in that situation, it's totally cool. And it's actually appreciated. And it's awesome to have these other people in the space that are interacting, with what it is that I'm doing as well. So because of that, if it's something that is, kind of where they're obviously trying to siphon, then in that case, then yeah, I would block them or whatever, just delete the comment. But if they're just interacting in your community, then, invite them in. And that also gives you an opportunity to reach out to them, because you mentioned as well that you would like to work with some of them. That gives you that opportunity to be able to reach out and be like, hey, saw you left a comment on my video. We should hook up. Let's do a collaboration about, 3 different, hairstyles that, everybody needs to make sure they know, or, whatever it happens to be in that situation. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian G. Johnson is in the house. Always like to do this when Brian comes in. Brian G. Johnson is the author of Tube Ritual Volume 1. This book here, I got a link to it in the description, or you can just go to Amazon and look for it, Tube Ritual Volume 1, or his website, briangjohnson.tv. But basically, it helps you jumpstart your journey to 5,000 YouTube subscribers. And how it does that is just like watching these live streams, right? How you just start understanding like, okay, oh, that's what this means, and that's how you do this, and that's why you should do this, and so on. This basically takes you through a similar process of, this is what's important to YouTube. This is what you should be doing. This is what you should not be doing, and so on. But it's an excellent book for trying to get that foundational stuff down for your YouTube channel. You should definitely check it out. Link is down in the description below. And that is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. Brian is my homie, so I like to bring attention to that book in any possible opportunity that I possibly can. So next up here on our list here, as I keep going through these, is... yeah, but can the book help you rap? That's the real question here. That's what we're really getting at, right? Can this book help you rap? And another thing really quick, if you are just joining us, make sure that you share this out on Twitter. We're talking about YouTube, talking about how you can grow your YouTube channel in 2021. And we're doing that through just random tips here during this live stream. And we're also answering questions from you, the content creator, down in the description below. There's a form down there where you can put in your question, and we're answering them in the order that they are received. So that's what's going on. So if you want your question answered, hurry up and get it in there. And then hopefully there'll be enough time to get to it here on the show today. But I'm just getting through them as fast as I can as we go through this. So really quick, let me go in here and catch up on some of these super chats here really quick so we can bring that up to date as well. So let's see here. Radical Reading. Thank you for the super sticker. Jay White says any unique. Oh, okay, we got that one already. Savvy Turtle, thank you for the super sticker as well. Zeke Speaks, thank you for the super chat. Also, Big Nacho 90. Oh, we already got that one too. I'm like doubling up. Tube Spanner Danielle in the house. What's up, Danielle? Says Happy New Year's to the Nimminati. Here's to a super 2021. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing 2021 with Tube Spanner right there. That particular one, it's right up there at the top of the screen right now. We're working on that to make a super awesome thing. She just finished like one part, actually a handful of parts of it that are going to be super exciting for you. But there's one in particular that I'm just so excited to share with you guys. Like once it's finished, to where I can talk to you about it on stream, and it's gonna make these live streams awesome, and it's gonna make your education from these live streams way better too. And just organizing all the information that you hear and stuff like that, you're gonna absolutely love it. But the tool in general, you're going to absolutely love. You can actually check it out now, tubespanner.com. And I've got a link to that in the description as well, or you can just go to tubespanner.com. But you're going to love it. You're just going to love it. Life in Plastic, thank you for the super sticker as well. Zake Speak says, wanting to build a niche about health, crypto, and veteran disabilities to build their finances. Any suggestions? Yes. So if you are doing that type of content, one thing that you want to think about is you want to think about, if I'm targeting health, crypto, and veteran disabilities, I need to figure out how I can tie all of that stuff together. So if you are trying to help veterans, then in that situation, you would be targeting veterans as the audience, and then you would build your channel as a resource for veterans. And as a resource, it would be veterans health. It would be finances for veterans. It would be, alternative ways to invest your money for veterans, veteran disability stuff, like that kind of thing. So then that way, what you're doing is you are starting at the audience, and you're saying, okay, this is who I'm actually making content for, and I'm going to turn my channel into a resource for veterans in this particular case. So by doing that, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the opportunity to create an amazing resource for veterans so that they can come and they can consume content from you on a regular basis. And every single video that you publish is going to be of value to a veteran, right? So when you are taking the approach with YouTube of trying to do all these different segments, it's important to always think about who is it that I'm after first, right? Who is that I'm actually trying to reach with my content. Now, if you're trying to do this separately and you're like, hey, I want to make some health content, I want to make some crypto content, I want to make some veteran disability content, and so that they can build their finances, then in that particular case, what you're doing is you're actually segmenting things out in a negative way. Because then what happens if you're not turning your channel into a resource, and this is really important to keep in mind, if you're not turning your channel into a resource in that situation, what you're doing is you will publish a video on health, and the veterans might not care about that. You'll publish a video on crypto, and the people that subscribe for the health and the veteran content might not care. You publish a video on crypto, or on veterans disabilities, then the people that signed up for the health stuff and for the crypto stuff, they're not going to care. So then what you start doing is you start diluting your audience in that situation so that every video that you put out isn't a good fit for everybody, right? Instead, you want to swap that around, and you want to do what I was talking about before, which is say, okay, I'm going to turn my channel into a resource for this type of viewer, which in your case would be veterans with disabilities, or just veterans in general in that particular situation. So that would be the approach that I would take with that. And with everybody watching this right now, add that to your goals. Figure out who it is, and take a note on this, right? Figure out who it is that I'm trying to reach with my video content. Like if you're watching this on your phone right now, literally open up a note app and say, okay, note, who am I targeting with my content? And then start defining that as quickly as you possibly can over time. Okay. Next up, we have Will Silicone. Says, I'm getting a lot of views and engagement, most of it from search. I'm up to 6,000 watch hours and 475 subscribers. How can I turn search views into subscribers? So people subscribe to YouTube channels for a handful of things. They subscribe because it's crystal clear what it is that you're offering. They subscribe because they see your channel of value in terms of, hey, I watched this channel, I watched this video, it was absolutely hilarious, I'm going to watch more. Okay. I don't know. Let me just give you an example here. So I was browsing on YouTube. I don't know, it's probably 3 months ago. And I ran across, and a lot of you guys might be familiar with them because they have huge channels. One of them is Screen Rant. And in that particular one, they have a guy called Ryan George that makes some of that content. Well, he also has his own YouTube channel as well. And I ran across his personal YouTube channel, which I didn't even know existed. And when I ran across his personal YouTube channel, I watched the very first video on it, and I was, cracking up because he's hilarious. And I was like, oh, I'm subscribing, right? And the reason that I subscribed to that channel is because immediately he made me laugh. I thought he was funny. The value that I got was clear, crystal clear entertainment. Okay. Now follow that up. He publishes his next video. It's the same type of content, same format. Everything about the content's the same. It's familiar. I know what I'm going to get with that content, and I stay subscribed, and I watch literally every single video that Ryan George uploads. I watch it when it gets presented on my feed, and therefore, and this is a really important thing about how YouTube works, write this down too. A really important part about how YouTube works is with every video and this is where just to kind of backtrack here to the veteran content, and focusing on one audience versus a bunch of different content, is because I watch his content and I keep watching his videos when they're presented to me on YouTube. Guess what happens? YouTube identifies this person likes these videos from this particular content creator. Therefore, we're going to keep throwing these on the homepage, and we're going to see how many of these Nick clicks on, right? And every single time I see one, I click on it. So therefore, what Ryan is doing is he's fulfilling me as a subscriber by continuing to give me the content that I signed up for. So when you are, thinking of, doing all this stuff, you have to think, is it crystal clear what it is that I'm offering, and can I do it consistently, and what value do people get from watching my content? So let's put this into some real life stuff here. So how many of you here, just out of curiosity, how many people here are vloggers? Dr. Sten, what's up, man? Happy New Year. Shark Scrapper, what's up? Happy New Year's to you. Renee Ritchie, what's up? Nice to see you in here. Hybrid Steel in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you're doing awesome. Retired working for you. Hey, man, I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you know this or not, but Richard Barrow was actually, he put together like a tweet list, or not a tweet list, but like Thailand YouTubers. And he mentioned you in one of his tweets. So if you don't follow him on Twitter, definitely, I don't know if you want to like reach out to him or anything like that, but I just wanted to let you know, just in case, that he gave you a shout out, gave you a shout out on Twitter. He's got like 170 something thousand Twitter followers. This is like a day or two ago. So you might've noticed it in your stats. I'm not sure. Okay, so we don't have a lot of vloggers in here. Okay, yeah, so we have vlogger, first time here from Lazy Ranch. We've got some vlog. Okay, yeah, so basically the man, I don't even know where I was going with that. I was like, Chris came in and I was like, woo, derailed, woo. Okay, so basically something that I was talking about niches and turning your channel into like a resource value. That's what it was. Okay, so if you're a vlogger, if we put this into like a real life situation, then if you are a vlogger, then it's important to think to yourself like, hey, I'm not just going out and like recording all this stuff. It's important to think like, okay, what exactly is it that I'm giving my viewers? Am I, like retired working for you that's in the chat right now? Am I giving people a glimpse of Thailand? Am I showing people all these like amazing places in Thailand and showing them like a real life on the ground view of like, this is what life is like in Thailand. And these are like some cool things about, being in Thailand. Like, are you showing them that value so that they can escape from what it is that they're doing if they're not here, or if they're interested in coming here, they can see that content to see what life is like on the ground. Or for the people that live here, those people are getting that value from Chris's channel because it's like, oh, hey, I live here and, I haven't been there yet. Let me go see, what Chris has to say about that particular thing, or let me go watch one of his reports on, like what's happening in the area right now. So, because of that, that's the value that he's providing. So what you want to think about if you're a vlogger is you want to think about, okay, I'm vlogging, but it's not just, hey, I'm just going around doing whatever. It's define that value that people are getting from you, because if you can define it, then you can lean into it, and it's going to be easier to get people to subscribe to what it is that you're doing, because it's going to be clear to you the value that you're offering, so you can lean into it. And then you're going to be able to wrap all of that stuff into a value proposition if you want to go that far, or you just want to keep making sure that you lean into that thing. So of course, you can level things up by, wrapping it all into a value proposition to where you make sure you add that in your channel art, let people know exactly what they're going to get from your YouTube channel. You can even say that in all of your videos if you want at the end. If you can say it right, you can do it at the beginning as well to invite people to subscribe. But the idea is just making it clear what it is that you offer. If you're a gamer, same exact thing. hey, every week we play Call of Duty videos and I show you all of the, all of these different things. Of course, you'd be specific there, but all these different things that you can do in Call of Duty so that you can be a better Call of Duty player, so that you don't miss any videos. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, as an example, right? So that would basically be part of like your value proposition, where you say, this is the value that I'm offering. This is what I'm giving you through the content that I'm producing here on the channel. So if you can do that, Will Silicone, then in that situation, like what that's doing is that's helping your audience understand what it is that they're getting from you. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you are getting views, right? You're getting views, you're getting watch time, you're at 475 subscribers. So here's what I recommend. So in addition to everything that I just said, because these are things that people subscribe for, they subscribe because of the value that you have. They subscribe currently, the value that you had that in the past, the content that they can go and watch in your channel from before, and what it is that they anticipate getting from you as well. If there's somebody that actually researches what it is that you're doing, looks at your channel and all that stuff. If they're not, then in that situation, then it's that immediate video, right? How clear is it in that immediate video, what it is that you're doing, okay? So in that situation, you just want to make sure that you can define all those things. But one thing that I want to keep in mind here, how many people here are new to YouTube? I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot. How many people started a YouTube channel within the last, let's say 3 months here? That's in the chat right now. If you started a channel in the last 3 months, just give me a hashtag me. And basically what you want to think about is if you have, 100 subs, you have 400 subs, you have, 1,000 subscribers on your channel. I want you to think this is right. How can I get more people to subscribe? Right? That's cool. But you also want to think, how can I, one, add more to the people that are watching my videos in terms of the value, the comedic value, the entertainment, the information. Walter's World, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Happy New Year. Everybody here, Happy New Year. But basically you want to think okay, how can I add more value to the people that are watching through the content that I'm putting out there? So if I'm entertaining, let me give you an example of that so you know what that means. If I'm entertaining, then in that situation, that entertainment is one value. So can I inspire people too? In that case, then you're stacking value, because then you have the entertainment and then now you're also inspiring people with your content as well. So then they're getting two things from you at that same time. So then you can stack that up again and say, okay, depending on the content type, of course, because it's different for different types of content, but it's like, am I entertaining people? Yes, there's value. Am I teaching people, about something? Sure, that's value. So people are learning as well. So they're being entertained, they're learning from me. And then, am I inspiring people in some way? Sure, there's another type of value, right? So basically what you're doing in that situation, you just keep kind of stacking it. And through the content that you make, just think how can I do that more so that whatever resonates with different types of viewers as they're coming in and watching my content, that might be the thing they subscribe for. For one person, it's the education. The other person, it's the entertainment. Another person, it might be the inspiration or the motivation, as an example. So that's what I mean by stacking those things up so that it's clear the value that you are offering and that you're offering more. But in addition to that, you also, just to help you out a little bit, like the video content itself, you're going to get more subscribes from the video content than anything else on your channel. So what I'm getting ready to tell you, it's just a thing to kind of move the notch just a little bit. But the thing that's really going to move the needle for you more than anything else that you're going to do on your YouTube channel is the actual video content itself and your ability to get people to click on it. Okay. But little details like making sure that you are adding that value proposition that we were talking to before, and take notes on this too. If you're new to these ideas for your YouTube channel, but basically what you want to do is you want to think to yourself, okay, if I have a channel art on my YouTube channel, how clear is it of what it is that I offer? So for the people, because everybody uses YouTube differently, for the people that enjoy my video and they're like, wow, this is great. Let me click on the channel name and go to the actual channel and see what this channel is all about. And then they land on your channel page. What's the first thing that they see? The first thing that they see there, is it clear to them that the content that they just subscribed to or that they're considering subscribing for, that is still happening on your channel right now? So as an example, in your channel art, do you have what it is that you actually offer them on your YouTube channel? If not, then you might want to try putting that in there. At the very top videos, especially on a mobile device, because most of the watch time and views on YouTube are coming from a mobile device. Let me open up YouTube real quick. And if you are scrolling, or here, I'll just go to somebody's channel here. Let me just pick, I'll just go to mine since you guys watch my channel. This will be easier. But basically, when you are scrolling through, right, the phone pops up, and you don't have a lot of real estate here, right? When somebody first hits your YouTube channel. So when they first start scrolling, what's the first thing that they see, right? And that first thing that they see is that your most popular videos that were popular 5 years ago, or that were popular last year or 2 years ago. If so, that doesn't tell them like, hey, this is what's going on in the channel right now. As they keep scrolling down, is it like recent, fresh content that, that shows them, hey, this is what it was that I was doing before, and this is also what it is that I'm doing now, or this is what it is that we're doing now, so that they can know that if your channel's the right fit for them or not. As you keep scrolling down, is it easy for them to find things categorized, into different sections on your YouTube channel? Is it easy for them to find content that, is that they are more likely to be interested in based on that content that you're publishing now? So the idea is just through the entire way that people interact with your YouTube channel from the moment they see your thumbnail, in terms of they see it, then they click it, what happens next? That entire process, go through it yourself on your channel, do it on your phone, do it on a computer, do it on a tablet, and see the experience that people have, and look at your channel and think about, okay, if somebody's looking at my YouTube channel, what are they thinking in terms of, like, okay, they landed on my channel page. What's the first thing they see? Is it clear what it is that I offer? Is it easy for them to find content that they might be looking for based on other videos that they're watching on my channel, right? You just want to go through the entire process and just think of, how are people using it? When they get to the end of my videos, are the videos that I'm linking to in my end screens? And if you're new to YouTube, end screens are the little squares that pop up that people can click on at the end of your video. But when they get to my end screens, are those end screens linking to other relevant content? If not, then I should probably change them. Maybe I should also be using a best for viewer spot so that I can make a recommendation of what I think that a viewer would be likely to watch next based on the content that they're watching. And then I have YouTube also working with me here to try to get that click to that next video, to where you use that best for viewer one, where YouTube says, hey, this person is most likely to enjoy this piece of content on your YouTube channel, so let's show them that one, because that one's always changing. So, you want to make sure that you're looking at that entire process. And if you do that, then you'll start to get a better understanding of what the viewers go through, which will help you be able to leverage all of that in order to try to generate more subscribers. But again, all of those things are little details. The most important thing, and all those little details add up. Like, if you're on YouTube for a year and you're paying attention to all that stuff, you're going to, all those little things are going to add up to a lot more subscribers than just not doing them at all, right? But at the end of the day, the thing that's really going to do it for you is just making content that people love, and, getting people to click on that, and them just really enjoying your video and getting, like, a lot of value from what it is that you're doing. Okay, so next up on our list here, we've got L.A. Hover. There we go. L.A. Hover says, in my small niche, my audience sees me as an authority figure, but I learned as much as my viewers as they can learn from me. How would you suggest building on this unique situation? So in that situation, invite them on. Like, if you learn a lot from your viewers as much as they learn from you, invite them on, bring them on. Like, make videos with some of your viewers if possible. Like, if you can find some of your viewers, and you can even make a video about it, live stream, whatever. But if you can make if you can make videos about it, and you're learning as much from them as they are from you, see if you can get some of those people onto your into your content. Collaborate with some of them if they have YouTube channels, if they don't have channels, if any of them have a good camera, or at least a good enough camera or good enough phone to where they can, make some content with you. Try to get some of them involved, not in every video, but try to get some of them involved in what it is that you're doing, and make them a part of the community that you are growing here on YouTube. So, if you're learning from each other, then you can have somebody come on. You can be like, hey, my chair's there. Okay, so you can have you can have them come on. You can be like, hey, these are some things that I learned from you. Why do you think this way? What is it that that ran you into this information, or that caused you to start doing things that certain way, or whatever? And you could do an interview. You could have it to where they share some tips on your channel. I'm actually retired working for you. That's in the chat right now. He grew his channel to 50,000 subscribers since March, right? And he's going to be coming on the channel. I actually have to follow up with him. I've been busy with the house, but basically, I'm going to be following up with him, and we're going to do a collaboration on him sharing for vlog style content the important things that he's done in order to grow his channel to 50,000 subscribers since March. So, I guess that would be 9 months. So 50, who here, just give me a hashtag me, would like to get an extra 50,000 subscribers by 9 months from now, right? I'm sure it's going to be a lot of people. Daniel Batal in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Baking with Charlene. What is going on? Roger Wakefield in the house. What is up? Party Rental Knowledge. Nice to see you here. Also, hope everybody is doing great. Happy New Year to everybody. Super pumped for 2021. Okay, so Next up on our list here, we've got Ace, the
Super
blue
chat.
collar intellectual. Says, you recommended too, buddy, and I'm new to it, but I like it on my political strategy page. You're awesome. You are also awesome. Glad that you are enjoying TubeBuddy. It absolutely is an amazing tool. Super pumped that you got it installed and that you are taking advantage of it as well. So we had some other super chats here really quick. I'm just going to take one here from the forum so that we can keep these moving as well for the people that, put their question in the forum that's down in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and then we're going to get back into the super chat. So the next question here is from Jacko. Jacko says that they have a gaming Call of Duty tips guides channel. That's funny because I just mentioned Call of Duty a second ago. The goal of the channel is to keep growing and eventually become monetized. And the question is, hey, Nick, I'm currently trying to master thumbnails to get more clicks. So do you know what exactly makes a good thumbnail? I don't show my face yet, but I want to eventually. So I will do the very exaggerated expressions, but is there anything that I can do now, like what colors or template or images to draw attention? Thanks. Here's what I recommend you do. You're making Call of Duty content. First, focus on Call of Duty imagery. So right now, as you're getting the ball rolling, you can absolutely put your face in there. You can be a part of it. Make sure that you're using high quality images for your thumbnails if you're making them a part of the graphic, because here's the thing for everybody here. If you're using low quality thumbnails, but you're trying to force that low quality images for high quality thumbnails, basically graphical thumbnails. If you're doing graphical thumbnails and you're using a low quality photo, but then you have all of these like crisp fonts and, like everything else in the thumbnails crisp, it makes the thumbnail or it makes the image look really bad, like the actual photo. So make sure that if you are including yourself in the thumbnail and you're cutting yourself out and you have other graphics in there, make sure that you're using a high quality photo. Now, high quality photos are not required in general on YouTube. You can do fine with regular photos. However, if you are making your photo a part of a graphic, make sure your graphic thumbnail, make sure that it's a high quality photo, because if it's not a high quality photo, it's going to make the whole thing terrible, right? In terms of just the presentation of that thumbnail. So just keep that in mind. But one thing that you want to think about is that from Call of Duty, right? If you're playing Call of Duty, you are going to have other Call of Duty videos that you're going to be getting suggested next to, because and take a note of this. Take a note of what I'm getting ready to say. If any of you have gotten the notepad out, like I mentioned a minute ago, and you're taking some of these notes on your phone, one of the things that I want you to think about is if I'm being shown next to other videos in my niche, how clear is it that my video is about my niche? Is it focused on me? Or am I focusing on the thing that's going to grab attention for my niche? So as an example, I think that it was ADHD Gardener, I believe. She's a channel member, and I think that it was her, but during one of our channel member live streams, we were in there and we were looking at thumbnails, which, by the way, channel members, anybody that's hanging out, the one that I was sick for the other day, we're going to be doing that Monday, by the way, the 4th. So I made that announcement in Facebook, but I just want to make sure that you know, just in case. But basically, when she was doing her stuff, one of the things that she was doing, as long as I'm thinking about the right person, is she? Oh yeah, she's right here. I think this was you that did this, but confirm if this was you or not. But basically, she was like focusing a lot on her and less on the imagery. And when we were looking at the thumbnails, one of the things that we were talking about is making it more clear that her stuff was more about gardening than it was about her. So that the part that I'm getting ready to tell you here, so that when you are being shown next to other videos on the platform that are in the same niche that you are, because how YouTube works is that basically they try to find content on the platform that is good for users at the particular time that they happen to be watching a particular video on the platform, or when they happen to log onto the platform, or when they're scrolling through or whatever. So in that situation, what's happening is when you are watching one video on a topic, you're identifying to the platform, to the algorithms of YouTube. You're saying, I'm interested in this. I just clicked on this topic. I'm interested in this, or I searched for this. So I'm interested in it. So then what happens is over in the sidebar, you might even see this right now, depending on what you're watching this on. You might see right now, you might see other videos in the sidebar right now or underneath this live stream. And if you do, you're going to see some YouTube related content down there. You're going to see like, stuff on getting views, stuff on getting subscribers, that kind of stuff. So the reason for that is because YouTube has identified that you're interested in this type of content. Therefore, since you respond to this type of content, you're hanging out in the live stream, you clicked on it, you watch my videos and all that, then their system has identified that you're interested in this. Therefore, they're showing you other videos that are topically related to what it is that I'm talking about here. So when you are making your thumbnails for Call of Duty, then in that situation, you have to think and this is for any game that you're playing, for all the gamers in here, for everybody that makes any type of content on anything, you have to think, okay, for the type of content that I make, how clear is it in my thumbnail if it gets shown next to other content on the same topic? Then how clear is it that my video is about that topic? So for example, in the Call of Duty reference, if you're focusing on your face and not Call of Duty imagery, then you can be working against yourself. What you would want to do in that situation is you'd want to test it. You can use TubeBuddy for this. You can do it manually, or you can just test it with different videos. But basically the idea is that you say, okay, every time I make a thumbnail, I have to think to myself, how obvious is it that this is about Call of Duty? Am I taking up too much space? If at a glance, if I close my eyes and I open my eyes, what's the first thing that I look at in this thumbnail? If it's your face, then instead of the Call of Duty imagery, take your face off, right? Because what you want the answer to be in that equation or in that situation is you want the answer to be something about Call of Duty, right? If it's the word, if it is, a particular character, if it's, some game imagery, whatever it happens to be, or a combination of those things, you want it to be crystal clear. So let me do it this way. A lot of channels out there are making tons of content around tons of different games, right? What I recommend is you go and you look at the channels that are rocking in your niche, the channels that are just doing amazing, the ones that are getting all the views, the ones that are just that every time they publish a video, people are going in and watching what it is they're doing. Pay attention to what they are doing with their thumbnails. And the reason you want to do that is because they are setting a standard of sorts. And in addition to that, they've went through the process of learning what works well for their audience, which is Call of Duty gamers. And if you're trying to tap into that audience of Call of Duty gamers so that you can share your tips and guides, then in that situation, you need to be able to compete with them with what it is that they are doing. Because again, they get that initial push because they have that audience already when they publish a video, and they've learned over time what works. So therefore, use them as kind of an example of, let me see what they're doing. And then another thing you want to do is you want to say, this is what this channel's doing, this is what this channel's doing, this is what this channel's doing, screenshot everybody and start looking and say, okay, now, if I look across all of these, how clear is it that these are all Call of Duty content? And with Call of Duty, who knows? Some of the channels might, be doing something that's a little bit off. Some might be doing something that's like just nailing it. But like, how obvious is it that it's Call of Duty content? And you also want to think about how are they writing their titles, and with their title structure, which is important. When they're writing their titles, how clear is it that this is about Call of Duty in their titles as well? And is there any similarities between the structures of how they're writing the titles for their videos across all of these channels that are performing well in the Call of Duty space? And you want to start looking at things that way, because those are the people that you're competing with. Those are the people that you're going to be getting suggested next to. Those are the people to where, on a phone, somebody's going to be scrolling through that list, underneath the video, and they're going to see your video and they're going to see their video, right? They're going to see those videos, maybe another one, maybe part on the page. They're going to see those and they're going to be making that call. Oh, this is interesting, or this is interesting. One of you are going to win that click. So you have to make sure that you can compete in that situation, and you can compete by making the viewer, the user of YouTube, just like we use YouTube, right? The user of YouTube, you make it crystal clear to them that your video is about something that they're interested through the imagery that you're using. And you want to make sure that you're thinking of your titles and your thumbnails of how they work together, because they do work together. Your thumbnail grabs their attention, possibly wins the click by itself. If it doesn't, the eyes go down to your title, and then they read the title, and then that instant decision through comprehension is made on if they are interested in that particular video or not. So those are things that you want to make sure that you think about. Okay, so next up on our list here, as we continue through this. Hey, Marty, I will get to your question here in a bit. I'm answering these in the order that they are received. So I'm pulling them from the forum, pulling them from here. So we are getting through them as we are going through here. So I will get to it right here in just a little bit. Not too long though. Ace the blue collar intellectual. Yeah, we did that one already. Survival preparedness. Okay. Let's see here.
Super chat.
So survival preparedness says that by following your decisions in your videos over the past 6 months, I've made it over 1,000 subscribers and produced over 200 videos. Nice work on the 200 videos for the subscribers. I would definitely, because like 200 videos and 1,000 subscribers out of those 200 videos, I would definitely look at how your videos are performing in that situation, because I wish you would have had like a view count in this particular situation as well, just so I can kind of get an idea of what's going on. But basically, if you have 200 videos and you have gained 1,000 subscribers for that, like it's fine, depending on how much time you're putting into those videos. But if you're putting like hours and hours and hours and hours into those videos, and they're netting you 1,000 subscribers, again, that's okay. But you can definitely do better in that situation. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are paying really close attention to how the videos are performing as well, so that you can say, and you do this through your audience retention report, so that you can see like, okay, am I getting people to click, or just your stats in general? Am I getting people to click? Am I getting people to watch? Because you need to be able to go in and you need to be able to say, okay, these videos that are doing better, that are driving all the subscribers to my channel, those are, those have a fair click-through rate, and those, people are interacting with those, enough through the watch time that I'm getting, compared to the other videos that aren't performing as well. So, with that amount of videos, I would definitely start thinking about the actual content itself and paying really close attention to the stats, because that's a lot of content. Now, if you're doing Let's Plays, that's fine. Totally fine if you're doing Let's Plays. But if you're actually, recording the content, because, if it's not gaming content, you're recording the content and you're, taking the time to put it all together, that's good. 1,000 subscribers, that's a ton of people. However, out of the amount of content that it took to get you there, you could definitely improve that. So just make sure that you're paying really close attention to your stats, so that you can make sure that you are fine tuning things for the sake of making sure that you're resonating the most with the people that are watching your content.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Urban astronomer, welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you are on Facebook that you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Awesome community that we have going over there. We actually have a live stream tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Monday. So your timing is fantastic here in this situation. There is also a direct link in the members only videos here on the YouTube channel as well. Okay, so the next question that we have here is from Matt's RB Review. Says, thank you so much for everything, Nick. So Google ad revenue stopped doing withholdings. I'm assuming because of COVID. How do I get turned back on? I'd rather have them take out my taxes. Okay, so in situations like this, what you want to do, because this one's can be finicky, so to speak. So AdSense actually has a community forum, just like YouTube does. So if you have like a higher level issue like this, to where it's something that like the staff needs to take care of, then in that situation, if you just Google for AdSense community forums, then you'll see that pop up, and then you can ask your question in there, and then give as much details as you possibly can, and then one of the people that moderate that forum, they'll see it, and then they can get it to the right person to make sure that your questions answered and taken care of. Because this one they're going to have to do stuff on the back end for it. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are taking that avenue in order to get that taken care of. Simple Gitta, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, or the super sticker. Dan Tech Mod says, I've started on the 5th of November, 200 plus subscribers. Okay, you're definitely heading in the right direction. Here's the thing. How many people here have more than 100 subscribers on your YouTube channel? Give me a hashtag me. If you have more than 100 subscribers on your YouTube channel, but under 1,000. The reason I'm asking is because if you can get 100 subscribers on your YouTube channel, or in this case 200, then you can get 1,000, you can get 10,000, you can get 100,000, because what you've done is at 100 subscribers, you've proven that your content can interest 100 people enough in order to generate a subscribe from them. So because of that, if you have 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers, like the bigger that number gets, the more proof that you have in terms of like, yeah, okay, people are responding to what it is that I'm doing, right? So the only difference is the amount of time to kind of fill in the blanks with the content that you're going to have to make over time in order to keep those numbers, steadily increasing over time. So just to let you know, that's a good start. And if you can get that 200 theme parks and attractions, oh no, that wasn't it. Here, hold on, I actually lost that one here. But basically, if you can get to 200 subscribers, you can get to 200,000 subscribers. You can get, to 1 million subscribers and more. It's just the amount of time between now and then to actually get you there. So you're definitely on the right track. Okay. So, let's see here next. Oh, there it was. It was, Dan Tech Mod. So yeah, if you can get to 200, you can get to 200,000 and more. So let's see here. Next up, we have Dreamcast Hub. And I'm actually going to get into the forum here really quick before we answer this one, Dreamcast Hub. And for the other super chats that came in, I'm kind of bouncing. I'm getting a few of these because those, those take priority, of course, because you're putting skin in the game. So I'm a jerk if I don't give those priority. But I also, I'm trying to be fair here with the forum as well. So, so I'm just hopping in here, answering, this, and then hopping back over there is kind of the pace that I'm trying to keep here today. But basically, the channel name is Beats of the Heart, Lyrics of Soul. And the type of channel is music lyrics. The goal of the channel is to spread and find new music from all over the world. Super cool. And the question, what in 21 do you think will be different on YouTube for us as creators? Great question. Fantastic question. So when it comes to what's going to be different for us as content creators here on the platform is that YouTube has just recently rolled out shorts. I personally think that over time, as that gets like officially rolled out to everyone, I think over time that is going to become kind of like a sub part of YouTube because, just like TikTok, when I'm watching shorts, it's real easy to just kind of get caught in that loop of like, hey, here's another one, here's another one, here's another. It's just so easy to watch content because you just got to slide it around. You don't have to look at stuff and click on things and all that. You're just like sliding. And because of that, I think that shorts on YouTube is going to end up being a pretty massive part of YouTube. Now, in addition to that, YouTube is also, constantly rolling out new features. So as content creators, they have some stuff that they've rolled out for premieres in some places. And, like for that, with those types of things, YouTube is constantly trying to give us new stuff so that we can, keep their users on the platform entertained more and educated more and all that good stuff. So because of that, I think that YouTube is just going to continue to do that. But in terms of the major stuff, I definitely, without question, think that more people are going to be live streaming. And I think that in addition to that, the shorts is going to be a pretty heavy segment of YouTube over time. So, because of that, eventually, most of us will probably end up doing shorts on a pretty regular basis over time. If it's on our main channels, if it's on another channel, however it ends up working out, once all that gets fine tuned, I think that's going to be a pretty serious thing for all of us. So because of that, as content creators, I know there's a lot of stuff to do, but as content creators, I definitely would recommend that when you have spare time, in addition to making the video content, the normal stuff, that you also consider like, hey, how can I make some cool short form stuff that would be a great fit for the people that I'm trying to reach with my content? So that's a great question. Thank you for that. Okay, so next up on our list here, Dreamcast Hub. So Dreamcast Hub said, hey, Nick, my channel's about Japan and JPN and hidden gem Dreamcast games. Problem is these games aren't searched for often. What can I do to be found easily? Okay, so this is something that I really want you to think about is if something isn't searched for that often, that tells you that the interest around what it is that you're doing isn't that high. Right? So I hate to be the person to say that, but if people aren't looking for what it is that you do, then that means that there's just not tons of interest. So what I would do in your situation is I would go to Google or trends.google.com and I would go and I would just put in, I would just use the thing so you can get information for the web. And I would also use the drop down menu to choose YouTube as well after you do the web. But I would actually put in the topic that you make videos about and I would look at the trend line and I would just try to get a general interest of if you're kind of like if you hopped on a train that's kind of running off the track, so to speak. So I would definitely look into that. So it looks like my battery went down here. So full battery when I started, that was too bad. So let's see here. Boom. So we'll do that and then we will just bring it back here. There we go. Okay, so we're doing this manually now. Okay, so but anyway, the thing that I would do in that situation is I would go and I would look just to check the general interest. Now, with that said, the type of content that you make, it just might not be something to where people are literally like searching for very specific things about it, but at a higher level, they might be interested in the topic more. So let me back this up. So when it comes to anything online or anything, just anything. So we got Roger Wakefield in the house right now. And we have Urban Explorer. We're going to use both of them. So with both of these guys, Roger has plumbing content. Huge amount of people are into plumbing content, but he also does entertainment content based around plumbing. The entertainment that's based around plumbing is bringing tons of attention to him because everyone loves entertainment, right? With Neil, in his situation, he's doing like van build content. So with his van build content, there's a higher interest in like van build stuff right now than there's ever been. And it's going to continue, especially right now, because the way that the world is, the trend with the van build content is just going to keep going like this, because people are going to be like, hey, you know, I'm having trouble at work. And because of the, you know, because of the thing that's going on in the world right now, we're having the problems. Like we need to save some cash. So because of that, hey, honey, let's sell the crib and hop into a van and live that van life, right? So in that situation, like he's in a great situation because he's going to be able to ride that trend up, and it's already at a high level to where when he publishes content, the potential for his content to perform well is extremely high. Same with Roger, even with plumbing content, right? Because everybody has, not everybody, but you know, like the Western world and the developed world, I'll say it that way. The developed world, you know, everybody has plumbing. So because of that, you know, that content is relevant to anybody that has plumbing that speaks the same language. So what you want to think about is when you're making content, you are when you're making content, you have to make sure that you are making content. If you want to like grow into like a big channel, you have to make sure that you are making content that has the market for, you know, to be able to sustain a larger channel over time. So I'm not saying that yours doesn't, but I would definitely research to make sure that, you know, that the thing that you're doing, if you're trying to grow the channel, you know, like fast, then I would definitely make sure that what it is that you're doing, that you can find something about it to where you can either one, be the person that brings it all back to life, or two, so that you can say, okay, you know what, my channel might not blow up, but I can tell you what, I'm going to create the best community on the internet for the people that are still interested in this thing it is that I'm talking about. And then you just kind of take that and you say, you know what, I'm not going to focus on how many subscribers I have. I'm going to focus on connecting with the other people that are interested in what it is that I'm interested in. And if I'm interested in like blowing up a channel, then in that case, then I'll make content that has, you know, like a higher, that has a higher market reach, so to speak. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we have, let's see here. And real quick, let me back this up too, just so everybody can get value out of this question also. So another thing too, another part of this question is like, how can I be found easily? So when it comes to YouTube, to be found easily, is a very, you know, it's hard. It's hard to be found on YouTube, right? Let's just call it what it is. It's hard to do all of the right things all the time in order to consistently get found on YouTube in terms of your videos being put all over the platform. But there's a handful of things that if you focus on them, I guarantee you your videos will start getting shown to more people. Those things are, one, you're making videos about topics that have the potential to reach at least a decent audience that's going to help you reach whatever goals it is that you're trying to reach, or at least get you the view counts that you want. Two, you are able to get those people to click on what it is that you're doing because they can identify that your video is for them. They can be intrigued or curious about what's possibly behind that thumbnail because the thumbnail that you're putting together is so epic in terms of, you know, you catch something right as the shot's getting ready to happen, or you're showing stuff in the background to where it's like, wow, is that even real? How could somebody, you know, like Roger, how can somebody fill like an entire thing full of, I think it was like Mentos or something like that. But basically, you know, when you're doing those sorts of things, you just want to think like, okay, when I'm, you know, if I can get people to click on what it is that I'm doing by making the thumbnails that they can identify that it's what it is that they're into. And then I have titles that I've developed the skill of writing over time to just either one, clearly to say this is what the video is about, or two, to where I can say that what the video is about, or also making that something that is intriguing, or to where people are thinking psychologically like, oh, this seems interesting. Let me see what this is about type of thing. Next, you got to make sure that you're making content that people want to watch, and in addition to that, that you're structuring the content properly and that you're not making mistakes that's costing you viewership. And here's what I mean by that. So when your videos first start, and again, like if you're just getting started on YouTube, like this is something that you have to pay attention to, because I know as content creators, we just want to make our stuff, but if you want to get noticed more on YouTube, if you want to have your videos put in front of more people, these things are really important. You have to go into your audience retention reports, which is inside of your YouTube analytics. And you look in your audience retention reports and you have to pay attention to what happens at the beginning of your video. So when your video first starts, I see tons of people that will have like these big long intros, or they'll just have an intro of some kind, or they'll do something that is just, not related to the content, or they'll take too long to get to the content, whatever it happens to be, but they'll basically destroy their entire viewership or lose their entire viewership when the videos first start. Like within that first like 10, 15, 20 seconds, everybody's gone. So if your content's doing that, then you're not gonna get found on the platform, because what's gonna happen is YouTube systems are going to identify that when people click on your videos, that they leave, that they don't enjoy that content because they don't stick around to watch it. And what YouTube is trying to accomplish is to have an entire platform full of videos that people enjoy, so that they can continually show those videos to people, and people keep coming back to YouTube because they keep showing them awesome videos, right? So you have to be able to compete. So you want to make sure that you're looking in your videos, and write this down. You want to make sure that you're looking in your videos and that you are paying attention to how people are responding at the beginning of your video, because that's super important. Because if they leave at the beginning, then you can't keep them watching longer. But if you can keep them watching for 15 seconds, then that tells you, okay, I got them in that first 15 seconds. Now let's work on the next 10 to 20, right? And you just keep building it out. And then you get to a certain point to where, okay, now my videos are to this point. Now YouTube is showing my videos to a lot more people. I'm able to get people to click. I'm able to get people to watch for a longer period of time. And people are starting to like comment and stuff too. And you create all of these positive signals for YouTube. Their platform shows a user your stuff. They click on it, they come in, they watch the video, they give it a thumbs up, they leave a comment, maybe they share it with a buddy, or they subscribe to your YouTube channel and they come back and watch another video, or they click on a video in your end screen, they watch that. That's exactly what YouTube wants. So if you want your videos to be found more, one of the things that you have to do, in addition to the topic thing and being able to get them to click, is you got to be able to create that experience for the people on the platform, the users of the platform, so that YouTube systems can identify that your content's good. And as soon as their system identifies that it's good, you'll start getting more views on your videos, because they'll continue showing them to people. But if their system says, we show this video to people, but they don't like it, so instead of showing Urban Explorer's video, we're going to show Doug Houston's video, because Doug's video keeps people watching, and they comment and they give it a thumbs up, and they watch another video and they subscribe and they keep coming back. But Neil's video, they click on that and they're gone in like 15 seconds. So because of that, for the goals of the platform, what YouTube is trying to accomplish business-wise, it makes sense to not show Neil's video that much and to show Doug's video in place of, or with a plethora of 500 hours of videos that are uploaded to YouTube every minute, right? The plethora of content that they have, they can, pick from their inventory of content that is proven by their platform, by the system, that's proven to give their users a positive experience on the platform. So because of that, as us, our job as content creators is to make sure that we're paying attention to those things, so that we can do the things that YouTube is ultimately trying to accomplish. And the better we can lean into that and give the platform what it wants, then the more views that we get on our stuff. Okay. So next up on our list here, and I'm going to jump back into the forum here really quick for this one. This one comes from Jocks Kid Draw. Jocks Kid Draw says they do tutorial content, gold channels to teach people how to draw. The question: what is your opinion on scripting entire videos? Fantastic. Who here scripts? Just say scripts or no scripts. Just curious, which one you do. So when it comes to scripting versus non-scripting, my personal opinion, it's content dependent. So, and situation dependent. So I'll give you some examples. So when I first started making my YouTube videos, I scripted every word. I scripted jokes, I scripted pauses, I scripted everything, like literally word for word, pause for pause, scripted everything. And because of that, when I'm sitting there and I'm reading the script, I would like look at the script, and then I would look at the camera, and then I would say, however many lines that I could remember. And then I would look at the script and then look at the camera. And in my brain, I'm communicating through the script, not communicating as I communicate normally. Over time, I got better at it. But when I went off script and I started communicating as me, and communicating the way that I communicate with people when I meet them, when I'm just like hanging out with people in real life, when I started communicating in that way, people started responding to me better. And I started feeling better about the content that I made, and I started feeling more authentic as well. However, I also have made content for a bunch of other, not a bunch, but for a few other YouTube channels as well. And, as like a paid thing. And on those channels, I had to use scripts. And the reason that I had to use scripts is because, one, I'm not as familiar with their subject matter, or they needed to be approved before I made the video content as part of the workflow, so that I didn't have to edit them, or didn't have to like remake videos and stuff. So basically, that's a situational thing, to where my preference is always no script for my stuff. It's bullet points and putting small notes around the bullet points on, like, make sure you mention this, and this is stat for this, or this is the percentage of this, that type of thing. But the situational side is, for those companies, I had to use scripts to make sure that for one of them that I was saying the right things based around, what it was that they're doing, because I was just the talking head in that situation. And then for the other one, it was so that I could get the approval first to make sure that that everything that I was saying was in line with their brand, and to make sure that, it was in line with their messaging, and that they could put in their calls to action or their sales messaging when they needed to, that kind of stuff. So those are situational things. Now, in addition to that, you also have the technical side of things. So if the type of content that you're making is extremely technical, like I saw Dr. Sten here saying that he uses scripts. So like in his situation, it makes sense because he's actually sharing health advice. And if he says the wrong thing, it could cost somebody like a physical problem, or, like it could lead them in the wrong direction when it comes to health. So in his situation, using a script, that makes total sense that he's using a script. If you are doing any type of like science stuff or anything to where you just need like, information, to where it's like, hey, I need this number. I need this, amount of this. I need, you're making cooking videos. Okay, I need, 3 scoops of this or 3 cups of this. That's how my brain works. Let's just scoop in some of that. I'm not a good cook, but basically it's to where, you say, okay, I need, X amount of this in order to make this delicious. And if you screw it up, then it's not going to taste good. And then people aren't going to watch your YouTube videos because you keep giving them wrong information and they make horrible food. So, because of that, in those situations, scripts are more appropriate. And they're also great as well. Like if you're just not comfortable freestyling, it took me a while to get comfortable too. I made a nice handful of videos before I made any public freestyling, just because it took me a little bit to kind of get that, to develop the skill. Right. So, so depending on, how you approach things, and depending on the situation, depending on the type of content, is if you should use scripts or not in your situation. So again, they can be like a great crutch in some cases. Like if you're just getting started and you want to make sure that you write everything out perfectly. If you're doing review videos, they can also be extremely advantageous, at least once you get to the tech part. So you could have like your actual freestyle part, and then you could have to where you're just, talking off of bullet points, or you're just, sharing your thoughts, and then have all the technical aspects scripted to where you jump into that. And then you have the tech side, or the technical side. You can definitely take that approach as well. But the idea is to just use whatever's best for your particular situation, but just consider that authenticity on YouTube is extremely powerful and people really connect to it. And if you can communicate authentically through reading a teleprompter, through reading a script, then excellent, go for it, because then it'll keep everything tight for you. But if not, in that situation, you might want to just give it a go and just try working off some bullet points, or just freestyling and just, kind of sharing, your thoughts as they come out, and, with your audience, and see how people, respond in that situation. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we have, let's see here, tag, camera. Okay.
Super chat.
So next question here is from Paul Ash. Says, how established should your YouTube channel be before starting to use TubeBuddy? In my opinion, if you start a YouTube channel today, you should start using TubeBuddy today. Now, in terms of using things like, let's see here, A/B testing, you should wait until you're getting some views to start using the A/B testing. So basically, TubeBuddy has different tiers. So as a new content creator, you can actually use it for free as any size of content creator. And they have, some base tools in there that you can go ahead and start using to kind of help you get going. But then once you get going, let's say you get into the partner program, you start getting some ad revenue. That's where you want to think about, okay, now I'm at a point, I'm getting consistent views on my videos, so I can start collecting some data if I want to test thumbnails. Maybe I need to get more tools that are in there because my experience is getting more. I have a better understanding of the platform, and I have I'm getting consistent views. I'm getting subscribers. Some people are subscribing maybe every day, and I need more of the tools that are in here. Then in that situation, then I would start upgrading from there. But for free, you can actually install it. You can get familiar with the tool, the different, stuff within it, so that you can, see how it works, and that you can, use it, right out of the gate. Let's see here. So next question that we have is from Simple Gitta, and then we're hopping back into the forum after this. And Simple Gitta says, let's see here. Did I do Jock's Kid Draw? Yeah, okay. So then I'll go to the next one there and have that in queue. So Simple Gitta says, hey, Nick, Hey, says a tech question. I'm using open camera on Android. I see that the video and audio drift off despite setting constant frame rate. Any tips? Yeah, I unfortunately I can't help you in that one. I'm on an iPhone. However, I know that some things do that. I know some of the like screen recording software does that. Some of the live streaming stuff that happens from time to time. I know that in the past where I've had situations happen like that, either on a phone or, you know, like recording a live stream, I would have to go in editing software. In your case, it would be an app if you're doing everything in your phone, but I would go in through that and I would, you know, unpair the video track from the audio track and I would slide things around to make the audio move up. Tons more work to do that. However, if it ends up, you know, with everything being synced up and it being a better, you know, experience for the viewer when they come in and watch, then that's definitely the way to go, even though it requires more work. So that's what I would recommend. Outside of that, I would just double check that the, even though you're using open camera, I would still, just to be on the safe side, I would make sure that the base or that the built-in camera, the settings for that also match as much as possible the settings that you're using in open camera. Hopefully that will help, because one might be, the audio might be recording at like 1 bit rate from the built-in camera, where open cameras record, because it's all going through open camera. So yeah, I'm not sure on that. I wish I could help you, but unfortunately I can't there. Okay, so our next question here is from Auraforce Gaming. Auraforce Gaming says they've been on YouTube for less than a year. It's a Star Wars gaming channel that focuses on gameplay with commentary. I also do tips videos occasionally. Excellent choice. The goal of the channel is to learn new skills, have fun, and entertain my audience. I would like to monetize if possible. And the question, what are some tips for SEO or just optimizing in general? Excellent, fantastic question. So here's what you want to think about when you are trying to optimize your videos for YouTube. I'm actually going to record this one. Okay. When you are trying to optimize your videos for YouTube so that you can get more views on your videos, here's what you want to think about. One is, of course, the thumbnail, right? We got to start there. So when it comes to getting more views on your video, you have to be able to get people to click on your thumbnail and your title in order to actually get them into video in the first place. So because of that, you got to make sure that it's crystal clear, the subject matter of your video, so that people can identify that it's something that they are interested in. So in your case, if you're making Star Wars content, then in that situation, making sure that you're using some type of Star Wars related imagery so that people who are interested in Star Wars can immediately, without any thought, identify that your video is something that they are interested in. And this is important because you're going to be suggested next to other Star Wars related content. You're going to be showing up on home pages for people that are interested in Star Wars related content next to other Star Wars related content. So because of that, you need to make sure that it's crystal clear, regardless of the niche that you're in, that you focus on the thing that the viewer is interested in with the actual thumbnail itself. Now, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you're optimizing your titles correctly. And what I mean by optimizing your titles correctly is you need to make sure that the thing that is the most important to the viewer, which in your particular case for this question would be Star Wars. So you want to make sure that the thing that is most important to the viewer is as close to the front of the title as possible, or the thing that would grab their attention is as close to the front of the title as possible. And the reason for that is because if you're targeting English language users on the platform, we read from left to right. So you want to make sure that the thing, if you grab their attention with your thumbnail, the second they go down to your title, they look over to the left, the first things they see, the first few words they see are the things that also help them identify that it's something that they're interested in, or it's a thing that's going to trigger them to actually click into the video itself based on, you know, how the thumbnail and title are working together. Now, in addition to that, for optimization in general, you want to think about, once somebody enters my video, what do they see? What do they hear? What's happening? Am I delivering on the promise of my thumbnail and my title? Yes or no? Do I have an intro that's going to waste their time? Do I have this, you know, like 10-second sequence in my video at the beginning of the video that nobody's coming in to watch because they don't care? They're coming in to watch the actual video content, not my intro. If you do, shorten that intro as much as humanly possible. If you want to keep using one, take it down to 3 seconds, 3 to 5, but I would say 3 seconds max. If possible, completely remove it and just get right to it with the people that are watching your videos, because they come in for the content, not for the actual intros. In addition to that, you also want to make sure that as you are putting your videos together, that you are opening up different ideas through your content. For example, if you're making Star Wars content again, and you are doing gaming content or gaming tutorials around your content, then you want to think, okay, if I'm talking about one thing and there's something else that I can also work into this video, just something, subtle that I can tease for later in the video, I can say something like, in this particular part right here is where you would walk in and then you would open your lightsaber here and you would start doing this. And a really cool thing here is you can also use the force here. And I'm actually going to show you that here in just a minute later in the video. But when you're using your lightsaber, you want to blah, blah, blah. And the idea here, that's called an open loop, is kind of like a technical term for it. I think that was actually coined from like something like way back in the day from like Hollywood. But basically the open loop idea is that what you just did in that situation is you opened the loop to where you are, to where you tell them that, hey, there's something else that you're going to be interested in here in just a little bit. So you want to make sure that you're hanging out for it. And you do that by not telling them, by not saying the words, hey, there's something later that you're going to be interested in, so you want to hang out for it. You're actually telling them the thing that they're interested in. So it's like, hey, you could also do that with the force. I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a minute. And you say it like it's nothing, and you just keep on with the content instead of making a big deal about it. What you just did is you open up that loop and they hang out in order to actually close that down. So where you actually do show them that thing the way that you do it with the force as well. And the idea with this is that you keep doing this as much as possible, the type of content that you make. You keep doing this throughout the content so that you can basically keep them engaged and keep them wanting to watch more. Now, in some types of content, this is extremely difficult, or it might not even be possible if you're taking people through like a process as an example, but you can try to work those types of things into your content so you can keep people watching longer. Now, the reason that that's important, because you said, what are some SEO tips or optimizing in general? The reason I'm talking about the video right now is because you can optimize your video for search. You can have the right keyword, you can have the right tags, you can have the right stuff in your description, you can have all of the right things. But if you can't keep people clicking and you can't keep people enjoying the content, then none of that stuff matters. So the most important things for you to focus on is getting people to click through identifying that your content's for them and there's something compelling or intriguing about what it is that you're presenting to them through that packaging or through your thumbnail and title, how they're working together. We're calling that a package, but you're presenting that to them in a way that they can understand this for them, or it would be intriguing to the people that you're targeting or trying to reach with your videos. And then once they click, then you create an awesome experience for them. Now, the really cool thing about YouTube is that when you are publishing content here, one of the really cool things is that even if your videos are optimized poorly for search, a majority of traffic on YouTube comes from their recommendation features. What that means is a majority of the views on YouTube, they come from home pages and they come from the recommendations next to other videos. With that said, search is also extremely valuable. It's another traffic source. You can just get crushed in traffic with search as well. However, just optimizing for search and only thinking of search is what you're doing in that situation is you're driving a Ferrari, but you're putting a lawnmower engine on it, right? So you're driving a Ferrari with a lawnmower engine in that situation. You're putting this block on the capability of what you can do when you're only thinking about YouTube search. What you have to do is you have to think, okay, if I'm trying to get views on YouTube, it doesn't matter. I don't care where the views are coming from. I mean, of course you do, you want homepage and recommendation as much as possible. And, depending on what it is you're doing, like if you're a business, you're making evergreen content, you throw that in search so that you can just have that cash machine going that's driving leads and sales and all that. That's one thing. But when it comes to, and you can also get that from the recommendation features as well. But basically what you want to think about is, man, I'm just trying to get people to click. I don't care. I don't care if it's search. I don't care if it's on a homepage. I don't care if it's under another video or next to another video on YouTube. I don't care. I don't even care if it's in my end screen. I want people to click on this because I want to get really good at writing titles and stuff, but I want them to click on it. And then I want them to enjoy the content so that YouTube can deem it as a great experience for their users. And then is the more you can do that, the more YouTube is going to do all of the heavy lifting for you. So if you can focus on, okay, I got to get people to click, got to get people to watch and enjoy this content. If you can focus on those things, then the optimization is around getting people to click in general, not just getting people to click in YouTube search. So when you're optimizing your content, think, okay, if somebody was searching for this, do I have the stuff included in this video in terms of, do I have the things people can identify in terms of the video being about that thing? Do I have the phrase or the keyword that I'm trying to actually rank this video for, trying to bring attention to this video for? Do I include that in my description? Do I include it in my tags? If you do, then in that case, think, okay, I've got those. Now, what is it about this title and thumbnail that is that would make me want to click on it? What is it about this thumbnail by itself that would make me want to click on it? What is it about this title by itself that would make me want to click on it? And them working together, what is it about the two together that would also make me want to click on this? Start there, especially in your case, because you know if you're a gaming channel and you're focusing on Star Wars content, like you know what it is about that you enjoy because you're a fan, right? Like you're a fan enough that you're making the videos about it. So because of that, you know, try to define those things as much as you can in terms of why somebody should respond. If you can start defining those things, then in that case, what you're going to do is you're optimizing around the understand, and this is really important, take a note, please. You're optimizing around the understanding of what it is that your content's about, who it's for. That's where you're actually winning that click. And then when your video starts, you have to think of how you're optimizing your content as well, because you want to be able to bring people through your content as much as possible. Because if you can bring people through your content in terms of them watching for, and it doesn't have to be your whole video. If it's your whole video, that's great. Some people will watch the whole video. But if it's like 50% of your video, if it's 40% of your video, 60, 70% of your video, depending on length and, you know, how many impressions you're getting and how many views you're getting. But like, if you can get people to watch for, you know, a fair amount of time to where YouTube can deem your video as a satisfactory experience for their users, then you don't have to worry about, you know, like, hey, I got to make sure I've got this right one tag in here, right? You don't have to worry about, I got to make sure that, you know, that I'm doing this specific thing, because what happens in that situation is you are making your videos discoverable. You're not just optimizing it for one thing. You're making your videos discoverable across the platform. You're able to tap into all the traffic sources, because not only are you optimized to where, you know, there's the right keywords and stuff for search, but everything's compelling enough that it doesn't matter where your content shows up on the platform, it's still click worthy. And then you still give them a great experience through the content that you're putting out. Now, in addition to that, another thing that you want to think about is you want to think about, like in search, it's easier because in search, people are looking for what it is that you make, right? But when it comes to the recommendation features, you also have to think when you're packaging up your videos, and take a note on this, please. You have to think about, okay, we have Nick. Nick is logging onto YouTube. You know, let's do somebody else. We have Eric from Eric Wait Whiskey Studies here. We have Eric. Eric's logging onto YouTube. Eric's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to open up YouTube. I want to go, I want to just, you know, watch some videos. I got some time to kill. I'm going to hop on YouTube and see what's going on. Eric logs on his YouTube. He opens his phone, you know, he sees the news. He sees the feed right there. For those people that you are after with the Star Wars content, you have to think, when that person logs onto YouTube and my content is there, my thumbnail, my title is right there, and they didn't expect it. They're not looking for it. They had no idea that they were going to see my thumbnail. What is it about this that I can do to try to compel that person to click on what it is that I'm doing based on things that they care about, things that they're interested in, things that they might be curious about, things that they feel deeply, things that they struggle with, things that they want to understand, like all of those things. Like you have to be able to define that. The better you get at that, the better your videos are going to perform all over the place, and they'll keep getting views over time, because if you can do that, then your videos will be optimized properly. So the idea with keywords is helping give the system context so that at the time of publish, it's clear, because YouTube shows videos next to other videos that are topically related and things like that. So because of that, and users that are interested in those things as well. So it gives context to their system in terms of like what your videos are about. So it's just easier to, you know, identify at the time of publish what the video is about. And through that, if they do, you know, show up in search as well, then another thing with search is you also have to be able to get that response there. So even if your videos are optimized properly, and or even if they're optimized properly for search to actually show up there, you still have to be able to win the click there, just like you would on a homepage. The only difference is it's a little bit easier in search because they're actually seeking your content instead of your content happening to them. So hopefully that answered the question. Okay. Next up, we have, let's see here. Climax Gaming says, bro, what content tips can I have for more views and subs? Yeah, same thing. You know, like I'm going to apply that to you, you know, as well. You know, you just have to think like, you know, am I giving the users of YouTube a great experience? When somebody clicks on my stuff, like, are they really digging it? Like, are they digging it a lot? Are they really digging what it is that I'm doing? If the answer is yes, then in that situation, then you're winning in that case. If the answer is no, then in that case, you have work to do. And we all have to go through that situation.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. It's my coffee cam. I actually watched a channel. They had a Eric Waite would actually like this. They had a whiskey cam, and I was like, man, I need to do that with coffee. And actually, it was somebody in the chat. I was actually in their live stream, and I was interacting there, and somebody in their live stream said that I should do that with coffee. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I should. But then like coffee's like brown and all that. It's like a little bit gross. But I was like, you know what? I was like looking around the cup, and I was like, yeah, you know, let's do it this live stream. Let's just kind of see what it looks like. And here we go. Now we have it. Now we have a coffee cam and a tech cam as well, so that you can see the setup and see what's going on there. So you know, for those of you that want that behind the scenes look of what's going on here. And oops, let me refresh the page here. There we go. All right. So next up on our list, we got Climax Gaming. Nate the Lawyer. Nate the Lawyer says, let's see here. This works advice, people. I'm the proof from 2,000 to 49,000 in 2020. Believe in the process. You can do it. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Nate the Lawyer, thank you for that. So basically they went from 2,000 subscribers to 49,000 subscribers in 2020. So like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, you know, you can do this too. You know, all you have to do is dedicate to consistently uploading over the course of the year. Dedicate to consistently improving your skill set and consistently actively trying to make each video better than the one before it based on how people are responding to the videos prior. If you just keep doing that and you keep learning, like, here's what I recommend. So for everybody that wants more views, make sure that you are also, in addition to like the YouTube help stuff, make sure that you're also watching videos on like copywriting and watching videos on like design and things like that, because, you know, all of that helps you here on YouTube, because, you know, the copywriting side helps you tap into the psychology of people, and it helps you tap into like optimizing titles and things like that. When it comes to design, that helps you learn how to make better thumbnails, that helps you learn how to like focus people's eyes on specific things and use certain colors to bring attention to things, and helps you understand better what like fonts to use to grab attention and, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, and what colors to use together, not to use together, that kind of stuff. So, you know, because of that, you know, you want to make sure that you're consuming that type of content as well, because it's definitely going to be advantageous for you to help you grow your YouTube channel this year. Next up, we've got Marty Clement. Marty Clement says, hey, Nick, I coach new real estate agents on my channel. I've been a realtor myself for 15 years. I've been uploading since June, and I'm at 53 subs. I'm looking for any tips and tricks to grow. Okay, so if you've been uploading since June and you are a new real estate or you're coaching new real estate agents in that situation, what you want to think about is you want to go to YouTube search right now, and you want to open it up. I don't know if you're on a phone or on a computer, but if you're watching this and you can do this on a computer, I mean, you can do it on your phone too. But basically what you want to start doing is you want to start looking for things that real estate agents are looking for. And you want to start making content specifically around things that real estate agents are actively seeking out. And the reason that you want to do this is not just for YouTube search, it's so that you can come up with topic ideas, not based on, okay, when I was a new real estate agent, these are things that I was interested in, or things that I was trying to figure out. That's important too. You want to make that content also. But when you are using YouTube search, I'll actually do it. Here, give me a second. Let me get my let me get my YouTubes open, and I'll do it. I'll show you exactly what I mean here. Okay. Share screen. Click on this one and share it. Okay. Boom. Okay, so basically, and here's StreamYard. This is what I use to live stream this, by the way. Here's the chat over here on the side. You can see how it brings this in. Just a heads up, like I can pin these. I just click on the comment, it comes up there at the bottom. Got the brand stuff in here, so I can have like different backgrounds. And if I have like if I want to put an intro in there, I can. I can do all kinds of really cool stuff that way. I can add different, you know, things for my name at the bottom, the little logo up here at the top, all kinds of really cool stuff here inside of StreamYard. I even have a private chat for when I have guests on here. We can talk about stuff that you guys, you know, don't see here as well. But when you go to YouTube, what you can do is you can say, okay, real estate. Of course, now it's not working right now. It's hilarious. I wonder if it's because I'm live. That's weird. Okay, okay, there it is. Real estate agent. Huh, it's weird. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here in this situation, you can see like real estate agent Cincinnati, Ohio. This is actually stuff that I looked at for a friend of mine. His dad actually, he's a real estate agent in Cincinnati. So he hit me up just wanting some advice, and we were just talking about that sort of thing. But anyway, okay, these are actual agents. So let's do this. Let's see what happens. Okay, so here, let me go back. Let me go tips. Okay, so real estate agent tips for success. Okay. Right here would be real estate agent tips. That's one video right there. You have to make sure though that this is something like, okay, when you make this video, I would make it extremely clear. If you make this video, I'd make it extremely clear from the outside that this is for, agents and not people that are looking for agents. But basically real estate agent tips would be one, real estate agent tips for beginners. So in this situation, you could take two approaches here. So the very first approach would be, real estate agent tips for beginners. It would be kind of like the idea of things that people are looking for. But in your situation, your actual title could be something like, let's see here, like real estate agent tips you need to know. And then in the thumbnail, it says, for beginners. Or in the thumbnail, it says, new agent tips, new real estate agent tips. And then in the title itself, it says something like, 10 things new real estate agents need to know. Right. So then they're working together in that situation. So you're grabbing their attention with the thumbnail, and then you take it, deeper with them in the title. But basically what this is doing, and this is just one thing, this is just something really quick right off the top of my head, just kind of showing you how to use this. But the idea is you want to say, okay, they're looking for real estate agent tips for success. So here, okay, how real estate agents can succeed in 2021. Great video idea. And in that situation, of course, the imagery, you would want to use imagery for that. That would be symbolic of success for a real estate agent. If it's, trophies or titles, in terms of like, or not titles, but like plaques, like that kind of thing. If there's something like that for the real estate agents now, then you could go, in that direction for some of the imagery. Real estate agent tips and tricks, same exact thing. But basically what you do is you go through this and you just do it over and over again. You just sit back and you spend, an hour going through this process and writing down the video ideas, because you want to make sure that the things that you're making videos about are things that topically real estate agents care about. And when you start doing that, and then the video content itself also matches, and you're actually providing real solid value, which I'm sure that you are, then in that situation, what you're doing is you're bringing them in based on things that they're actively interested in and actively looking for. And then you're providing them that value, which shows them that you are a resource for what it is that they are trying to learn or trying to do or whatever it happens to be. So other things as well, you can probably, talk about, YouTube channels for real estate agents and, all, X mistakes that all real estate agents make, right? Like you could look at my channel, literally. You could probably look at my channel for some of the titles, some of the title formulas. You could probably look at my channel and rip a lot of the titles that I use and swap some of the words, like swap YouTuber for like real estate agents on some of them, not all of them, of course, but on some of them, you could probably do that for the sake of, for the title formula side of things. But basically topically though, you want to make sure that, you're digging into the things that they're actively interested in. And the cool thing about using autocomplete for that is you're learning the exact language that people are using to search for the content that you're making. Now, again, if you heard the part that I was talking about before when it comes to discovery, you want to use that so that you can understand this is what people are caring about in real estate. And then you want to try to include some of that in your title. But you also want to make sure that you're thinking of big picture, like, okay, a new real estate agent logs into YouTube, or a real estate agent logs. I'm not sure if you're going for new agents experience. I'm not sure what you're after there, but it's like a real estate agent logs into YouTube. YouTube shows them my video. So topically, based on what real estate agents are looking around for, I've nailed it, right? I made it topically. I made it around, a thing that they care about. Topically, I've made it clear in the title itself that it's for real estate agents and it's about that thing that they care about. And I've used my thumbnail to complement what's in the title or just to grab their attention by itself. And then the actual video content itself, again, just like all of us here on YouTube, the video content itself also has to be good enough to keep people watching at least for a fair amount of time. Now, I didn't look at your YouTube channel, but from a professional standpoint, because like an agent, a real estate agent, even though I know professionally they're different, the presentation is similar to like attorneys, for example. And I know we all have, opinions about like attorneys and stuff, but there's some awesome ones out there as well. But like one that you can use as inspiration is Ian Corzine. He's a social media lawyer here on YouTube. If you go to his channel and you look at some of his videos and how he's actually presenting the content, like the content itself, he's targeting like content creators or just social media influencers. But when you are like looking at his content, the presentation of what it is that he's doing is stellar. So I would use that for inspiration in terms of like what everything should like look like and sound like and all of that. But for the actual way that you get your videos in front of people, it's going to come down into making videos around topics that are very specific to the problems that real estate agents, new or experienced, whoever it is you're targeting, around what it is that they're looking for. So just as a heads up, if you're still in the stream here, so a really good friend of mine, Owen Video is what he goes by on the internet. His name is Owen Himsath. He actually works with like real estate agents and real estate agents, mortgage brokers, accountants, like lawyers, like professionals, like in that type of stuff. I highly recommend that you reach out to him because I know he has like a group program, like a group training program for professionals for YouTube. So you might want to reach out to him and just, get that conversation going, see if he's a good fit for you or not. But I would definitely look into him. You can connect with him on Facebook as well. If you want, a direct link to him in terms of like, hey, this is his Twitter or this is his Facebook, whatever, just shoot me a DM on Twitter and I will, I'll send you his email or whatever. Let's see here. Next up on our list, but just real quick, he goes through the whole process, by the way, in terms of like, finding the right content to make, in terms of making instead of, sitting down and making one video a week, showing people how to batch thumbnails and how to batch, the actual video content and everything. But he gets awesome results for people. So you definitely want to check him out. Freedom Stacker, thank you for the super sticker. Theme parks and attractions says, Happy New Year's, Nick. In 2 years, I now have 106 subs and submitted a custom URL. I'm following your great advice. I still have a lot to learn. Thanks. Yeah. So absolutely. So 106 subs, congratulations. You definitely can secure that URL now. I know you changed your channel name last year also. But yeah, in that situation, man, like I know right now things are probably difficult for you making content. But yeah, definitely I would be uploading more. I would definitely be paying tons of attention to your stats. If you're not in the channel membership, you should be, just for the sake of being able to, directly ask some questions in there in your situation. Just because, for 2 years, depending, like if you're going hard, then you should have better results, after 2 years of content. But if you're just doing it like as a hobby in your spare time, stuff like that, then it's not a big deal. But if you're like going hard at it, then I would definitely make sure you hop in the membership for the sake of being able to, just get some direct, questions and, question and answer type stuff, back and forth from, what it is that you're doing to kind of help you speed things up a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, so Roger Wakefield, just really quick here, for Marty. Roger Wakefield also mentioned here that Owen helped him monetize his YouTube channel as well. So another thing that Owen does as well for content creators, because he works with professionals, he also works with content creators as well, and sometimes he kind of has that bridge between the two. But he also helps people get like brand deals and that sort of thing as well. So definitely he's, for you as a real estate agent, he's like he's a perfect fit for what it is that you're doing. So here, Marty Clement says, that was great. Thanks for the tips. Lots of new ideas. I'll reach out to Owen. Okay, perfect. Let's see here. Next up on the list, let me refresh here. Had somebody say that I missed a super chat. Want to make sure I get that. Then we're going right back down into the form. That is down in the description below, so we can get some of those questions asked or answered as well. So next up here on the list, we have... Let's see here. Had a lot of these come in. Okay. Ruthless Viper, thank you for the super chat there, or the super sticker, the super chat. Adoption with Nairi says, back to using my face in interesting titles and topics because I can't use photos of my kids and stock photos weren't working well. Any thoughts? Okay, so in your situation, if those stock photos weren't working well and you're back to using your face and interesting titles, in that situation, if possible, I don't know if you can try to use a combination of your face plus, like kind of like you as the forefront of the image itself, and then maybe some of the stock imagery in the background. Don't know if that's going to help or not. But when you say that it didn't work, I don't know if it didn't work based on you not getting the click, or if it didn't work because you didn't get more views based on the actual content itself. I'm not sure which way you mean there. But basically, if it didn't work because, your click-through rate tanked, then in that particular situation, then just using your face, maybe leaning on text like I do in my thumbnails might be the the way to do it on your channel. But you also have to make sure that, like, for anybody here, like if you are getting, like if you're doing anything with your content and you're not getting views, you have to think that there's different parts to the situation. There's the topic that you're talking about. There's the ability to get people to click. And then there's also the actual video content itself. If any of those things are lower, or they just don't, they're not effective, then in that situation, then it's going to work against the whole thing of getting a view. So because of that, just make sure that you keep that in mind. Okay, so it's just the click-through rate by itself. Yeah, then in that case, I would go after, just using your face in there, and then just using text. So if that, whichever thing on your channel gets the better click-through rate, that's the path. And then you want to say, this is what gets me a better click-through rate. So since that gets me a better click-through rate, then now I have to think of experiment with how I can improve that version of doing what it is that I do. So for example, you can experiment with things like, okay, if I'm using text, normally I have my head over here and I have text over here. Out of curiosity, I wonder if I swap those, if I'll get a better click-through rate consistently, not just on one video, but if I'll get a better click-through rate over time by swapping them. If I typically use 5 words, if I can get it down to like 3, I wonder if that'll be better. So TubeBuddy actually has a tool called the Click Magnet. For anybody that's a TubeBuddy user, this is extremely valuable. But they have a tool called the Click Magnet. And basically what that does is that analyzes the thumbnails on your YouTube channel, and it lets you know the things that are working and the things that are not. So if you're a TubeBuddy user, also make sure that you check out the Click Magnet as well, because it can be super valuable for that. Life in Plastic says, my channel is about doll collecting. I started in September and I have about 370 subscribers now. My views are lower than last month. How can I reverse this trend? So basically what happens on YouTube is they even say that they use this exact wording in the YouTube Creator Academy, which is free. Everybody here should go through it. I get a link to it down in the description. There's no like affiliation. I don't get any credit or anything like that for sending you there. I just, you should just go through it as a content creator, because it teaches you like what's important to YouTube about the platform and some basics of like, how things work and that kind of stuff. But basically, if you have, one of the things that they talk about there, before I leave that idea, is that they talk about seasonality of YouTube. Like sometimes things are up, sometimes things are a little bit lower, sometimes they're a little bit higher, but it's kind of, like this. And they talk about seasonality in terms of, just kind of what's going on in the channel, not necessarily like winter, summer, spring, fall. It's more about, like sometimes you're making great decisions. Sometimes people are more interested in that topic. Sometimes you're not making great decisions. Sometimes, you don't upload as much. Sometimes you upload more, like all of that stuff. It causes, fluctuations in the performance of the channel. But basically, if you have 370 subscribers that you gained before, and you have views that are lower this month compared to last month, then what I would do is I would go in and I would look at the videos that are driving your channel last month, and I would compare the videos that were driving your channel the 30 days or the 28 days prior. I would compare that to the last 28 days, and I would look at the very specific videos, and then you can go into the traffic sources for those videos, and you can start figuring out kind of what happened. So basically, if you have very specific videos, YouTube actually shows us the top 50 videos on the channel, the ones that are bringing in viewers right now, right over the last 28 days. So you can go in to look at those particular videos. You can see the ones that are bringing in the most activity on your channel. Then you can go into the traffic sources for those particular videos, and you can say, okay, last month, and you can actually group these separately. In your YouTube analytics, it's a grouping feature. That grouping feature is in the advanced part of your YouTube analytics, to where you can say this period versus this period, and you can look at things like suggested video traffic, search traffic, browse traffic, click-through rates on stuff, that sort of thing. So what you do is you go in, you compare, 1 month against the other, and you can start to, uncover what could have happened on your channel. So as an example, things that can happen on YouTube just in general, and these things can happen to all of us, is let's say that you have a video on your YouTube channel that's getting 1,000 views a day, and you have that video that's getting 1,000 views a day, or let's just say 100 views a day. Okay, so you get 100. Let's go to 1,000. It makes it funner. So you get 1,000 views a day, and when you're getting that 1,000 views a day, in that situation, you might be getting 800 of those views from being suggested next to a power video, like somebody else's video that's getting 10,000 views a day, or it'd be way more than that. Somebody else is like you get 1,000 views a day. Okay, so it wouldn't. Let's back that up a little bit. Okay, so let's say that you're getting suggested next to a video is getting like 10,000 views over that 28-day period. Let's do it that way. And then out of that 28-day period, you happen to be siphoning, a nice amount of views off of them. And we'll just say 800 for the sake of that out of that 1,000, right? For easy math. So in that case, which would be extremely high, but I'm just saying, in that case, you're siphoning that amount of views. Well, what happens is, let's say that particular video on that channel isn't performing as well anymore, and then therefore their traffic goes down. That will ripple down to you as well. If you happen to be in the next up spot on that particular video, then that can actually cause you to lose some traffic there as well. And then that just continues to ripple through all the way through the system, so to speak. So in that situation, what you have to think about is okay, and this is where digging in your stats and making sure that you're spending some time in your stats to understand what's going on is important. But basically you can say, okay, last month, I was getting a lot of suggested traffic. Let me see what videos I was getting suggested traffic from. Was there one video or two videos or five videos I was getting a lot of suggested traffic from? If yes, let me see if I'm still getting suggested traffic from those particular videos, or if I'm getting suggested traffic that's about the same amount from other ones. If the answer is no, then right there, you know exactly what the problem is. And it's not necessarily that you've done anything wrong. It's just that your traffic source has changed. Same exact thing goes if your videos start performing way better out of nowhere. If your video is stagnant for a long time and then it just like takes off, in some cases that can be because a video was published on another channel. That video happened to do great. You ended up in a next up spot, or in one of the top suggested spots. And because of that, you start getting a lot of overflow traffic to yours. That video starts taking off a bit, or it just gets a lift of some kind. YouTube starts collecting data from those particular users showing that, hey, those people are responding positively to this. So then YouTube starts testing your content against, other people on the platform with similar histories to them, so that, they can, just keep showing them the content that they enjoy. So what you want to do in your situation is you just want to look into your stats, and you want to figure out what the difference is between last month and this month, in terms of the loss that you're taking this month. Now, in addition to that, it can also be, if you upload less, in a lot of cases, you can also get, that can also end up with you getting less suggested traffic as well from your own videos and from other videos in some cases. In addition to that, you could just have an overall interest loss in the specific topics that you talk about for this moment in time. So, let's say last month in December, you have a lot of people looking for information on like crafting as an example, or let's say quilting, because I love making quilting references. So let's say you have in December, you have tons of people looking for quilting stuff so that they can make quilts as gifts for their friends. Well, in January, people aren't making, quilts for their friends anymore, friends for their family member, quilts for their family members, unless they're like seriously, into quilting. So because of that, there's not as much overall general interest around people looking for that quilting information as there was in December, because those gifts are already made, and you just have the hardcore quilting people left over from the influx of people that came in that aren't necessarily hardcore quilters. So, those types of things can happen as well. And that's another thing where that seasonality comes in. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. But in terms of reversing your trend, the trend, to follow up the second part of that question, if you want to reverse that trend, the very first thing you have to do is understand what actually happened. And then once you understand what happened, then you can start trying to figure out the next plan or the next steps that you need to take in order to try to get things moving again. It could be making a video on a similar topic again. It could be making just something, I won't say completely different, but just trying new stuff in terms of like, okay, that's where I was getting traffic from. It's down now. So now I'm just going to keep going with my, normal content, schedule. And I'm just going to keep uploading my videos. And I'm just going to hope or make these videos that people are interested in more, so that I can, try to tap into a higher interest around things that people are interested in more now, as an example. But the first thing you got to do is understand like why you took that hit in the first place. Let's see here. First class super chat says I have 106 subscribers from one video, and I only have one video. That's awesome. High five and fist bump to you. Nice work on that. By the way, just getting started. First video, 106 subscribers. Very first video. Nice work. Let's see here. And seriously, thank you for all your valuable content you provide on YouTube. As a small YouTube channel, keep grinding. 2021 is our year. Absolutely. Yeah. For everybody that's just getting started right now, for everybody that's here, that is like, you know what? 2021, I'm doing this YouTube thing. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a long time. I'm doing it. I've been wanting to take it seriously for a while. Like, you know, like last year when you were like, oh, you know what? I should do a YouTube channel, or man, I should take my channel seriously this year. And you didn't. Like, you know, now you can be like, oh man. So then now you can start, you know, now you can start taking it seriously. Let's see here. Next up on the list here, we have, let's see. Flash in your pan was up there. Heavy metal chef, science-based. Okay, Urban Explorer is next on the list. Says my small channel is now ready for 100,000 plus, set up properly, and that is all from listening to Nick. Listen and take action. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to take action. That's the key. Science-based Fitness says, Mr. Nimmin, hey, excited for the channel reviews on Facebook. You should plug that. Also, everyone, click like on this video. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, give this video a thumbs up.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Heavy Metal Chef says, Happy New Year, Nick. Happy New Year to you. Says, and the entire Nimminati family, I just started promoting my upcoming videos with a short. Will this create an issue uploading the actual video, or will I need a different title? I would title them differently, but experiment on your channel. Because here's the thing, right now with shorts, everybody's trying all kinds of different stuff with shorts right now. So experiment with it. Try doing this video with the same title, and then try making like a complimentary title with the next short that you do, and just see if you notice a difference between the two. And if you do, keep doing that, and then see if you consistently notice that difference, or if it fluctuates a lot as well. But I would definitely give that a shot. The Observer says, I can't post comments on chat box, Nick. Your mods. Not sure what's going on. They might have accidentally, if you weren't like, you know, constantly asking for the same thing or saying the same thing over and over again, then in that situation, you might have gotten caught as like collateral damage, so to speak, is what I call that. And what that means is sometimes like somebody will be doing something in the chat, and the mods will go to delete, or not delete them, but they'll go to block them or time them out or whatever. And sometimes the chat will move right as they're hitting that button, and then they'll end up like banning somebody else or something like that. So if that's the case, shoot me a message on Twitter, a DM on Twitter, and we'll see about getting that taken care of for you. But if you were, you know, just like, you know, continually saying the same thing or something, then, you know, of course I stand by the mods on, you know, on whatever decisions they make there. But sometimes that does accidentally happen to where we have to unban people or whatever for that situation. So.
Super chat.
Flash in your pants says, Happy New Year, Nick, for your M&Ms and coffee. Thank you for that. Mash appreciated. Much appreciated. Leron Henderson says, what's the best way to create thumbnails? So it depends on your skill level. Photoshop is like, you can do everything in Photoshop. So because of that, Photoshop's awesome. In addition to that, placeit.net has templates that you can use. Super easy. They've actually sponsored me in the past. I've actually just renewed with them recently as well. So you're going to be seeing more Placeit like bumper ads and stuff like that on my videos from time to time as well. But Placeit is great for that. There's also like canva.com that you can use as well. There is, I have some thumbnail templates inside of tubertools.com also on the membership side, not on the store side. And let's see here, what else for thumbnails? You can do it in your phone too. Like you can, let's see here, what else? In your phone, what do you have in your phone? I think it's D. My brother D would be the person to ask for the specific apps in your phone, but you can also make them in your phones. Maybe some of you in the chat know the right apps on the phone to use for thumbnails. You can also, some of them, I know TubeSpanner has a thumbnail builder as well. I know tubespanner.com. I know we're in the process of kind of working out some bugs with it. However, you know, it's cool and it's easy to use, but there's just a little bit of bugs with it that are in the process of getting worked out as well. And somebody mentioned here Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo is awesome. So basically the place that I got, I was able to, through Affinity Photo, like take pictures on my phone, drop it into Affinity Photo. I'm in there with the pencil because I'm a Photoshop user too, so I'm familiar with a lot of the tool sets they have in there. But I'm in there with the pencil, and I'm like using that to draw squares on the wall, so I can like paint everything and change the layer style and all that, so that I can get, you know, like the paint right and like, you know, all the stuff. I planned my entire place out on using Affinity Photo. Definitely an awesome app. Let's see here. So we've got that one as well. Watch with Wayne.
Super
Says,
chat.
thanks for all the help. Been using your info to help grow my channel. Almost 15,000 subscribers now. Thank you. Awesome to hear. High five and fist bump to you for 15,000 subscribers. Think about that. 15,000 people who here under 15,000 subscribers would love to have 15,000 subscribers right now. Just give me a hashtag me if you're somebody that would love to have 15,000 subscribers right now. That's a lot of people. Like imagine, okay? Imagine this. Imagine you walk into a room. Imagine you go somewhere and you walk into a room and you have 15,000, a big room, like a really big room. And you have 15,000 people just like standing there looking at you, right? Like if you make videos where like your face is on cam, it's like that. Like you had 15,000 people just like looking at your face. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like the internet just blows my mind in terms of like this whole thing. Like right now we've got like 400 and something people like hanging out here and it's just crazy. Like just absolutely blows my mind that there's 400 people hanging out here, 400 plus people hanging out here right now. Traveling Man says, what's a good subscription to conversion rate, the total number of views on my channel? Thanks. Happy New Year. So it's different for every channel. Here's the thing. When it comes to converting viewers into subscribers, of course, you always want to try to improve on that. But at the end of the day, like as long as people are watching your videos, like one of the things you constantly hear me talking about is the importance of making sure that the content you're making is awesome and that people are, enjoying it, they're interacting with it, and they're watching as much as possible. And the reason for that is because YouTube systems are so good now, people don't even have to subscribe to your channels. Like we all have this thing around subscribers because, it's part of YouTube culture in terms of like, hey, I've got a lot of subscribers on my channel. Just like Twitter, I've got a lot of, like when you have a lot of followers there, it's like, hey, they got a lot of followers on Twitter. It's like a symbol of influence kind of. But at the end of the day on YouTube, it's more important. Getting people to subscribe is important too, because it's a satisfaction signal. However, it's more important to have people watch your videos and enjoy your video content and watch it for a longer period of time and click on your end screen and watch another video. It's more important for them to do that than it is for them to subscribe to your channel. Because if YouTube identifies that somebody comes in, they watch your videos, but they watch your videos to the end and they click on another video and they watch that video, YouTube's going to keep showing them your videos. And ultimately that's what you want. However, when people subscribe to your channel, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to keep seeing your videos. But if they keep watching your videos and enjoying them, they're going to keep seeing your videes. Just like, I don't know if you're here earlier when I was talking about Ryan George, but like I've been watching him for the past handful of months because like whenever I log onto YouTube, I see a Ryan George video, not every time, but most of the time when I log on, especially on my phone and especially in the afternoon, because that's usually when I watch them, I'll see a Ryan George video. And the reason for that is because I watch them all the way to the end. I even watch his ad spots because they're hilarious. So by the way, just shout out to Ryan George. If you're not following him, you need to be. Super funny. If you're into comedy content, it's just skits where he talks to himself. Just gut splitting hilarious. From my perspective, gut splitting hilarious. Let's see here. Pod Sound School. Hey, what's going on? I hope that you're doing awesome. Says, hola, it's Veronica. How do I get a hold of you? You're the best. So thank you for the super chat first, and I will get a hold of you. So for New Year's and stuff, I've been taking a break. So I will. I'm starting my normal life back again on Monday because I've been in the process like moving and stuff. Like right now, for example, as we're having this conversation, my girlfriend's in the other room and she's like, getting like stuff ready and all that stuff so that when I'm done streaming, we can go home because we've moved now to where we're staying at the other place and all that. So this studio is going to be here for like another few weeks because I'm waiting for my desk to get in there. I think I'm going to take this one over just because I'm like enjoying it over there. So I think I'm going to take this one over and start streaming from over there too. We're going to see. What I was wanting to do is I was wanting to get everything in there and then have that like, all right, we're here type of stream where everything was set up, but it's going to take a while. So I'm probably just going to like build it as we go. But basically, I'm starting my normal, day-to-day activities around, all this stuff. I'm starting that again on Monday. So I'll get in touch with you on Monday because I've been pretty much just kind of doing all of that. So I will connect with you on Monday. As long as that's cool with you. All right. Let's see here. Next up on our list. Okay, we are back in the form now. So next up here, we have Auraforce Gaming. How many people here are gamers on YouTube? Costume CEO, I hope that you are doing awesome. I'm absolutely going to do a video on the new setup. So here's some obstacles that I'm having to overcome. So one, and this is gonna sound hilarious, but basically one, I've never drilled into concrete before. So I'm having this learning process of having to learn these things around concrete that I have to do to get stuff on the walls and things like that. Also with Thai construction, it's not up to par, so to speak, with the standards that I'm used to growing up in the States. So because of that, I'm having to work around things. So for example, I'm wanting to get all of my light stands off of the floor, and I'm wanting to put them on the ceiling. I want to put the lights and hang everything from the ceiling. However, I don't trust the ceiling in terms of being able to hang stuff from it. And we don't have wood studs here. Everything's steel. They build out of steel here, steel and concrete, because the wood is just not great for this environment. So because of that, we build out of steel and concrete here. So in the ceiling, I can't just like find a stud and drill in there and I'm good to go. I have to I have to either one, find steel, drill into the steel and hope, that I'm good there. But what I'm doing instead, I think, is I'm actually building either a wooden frame that I'm going to have to stain. That's going to be kind of like a frame that goes around like a portion of the room so that I can like drill lights and stuff into that. So it's like its own standalone thing. So the actual structure doesn't have to take the weight. And if I don't do that, then I'm going to have a steel worker come in and build like a steel frame in the same place so that I can connect things to the steel frame as well. So little challenges like that I'm running into. But I found a place locally that does like sound panels and like professional sound panels and stuff like that at a fair price. So I'm looking into, all of that stuff. My desk that's coming, that's going to be kind of like the centerpiece of it all, is that's not coming it won't be delivered because they're having to build the top of it. But that's not going to be delivered until I think the like 20th of January or something like that. So that's why I'm like, I'll probably take my standing setup over there and just use that until that one gets there, and then I'll swap everything out. But I won't do the actual studio tour, the official video, until like everything is all set up the way I want. But I think I'm going to start streaming over there relatively soon. So I won't have the black curtains, but I do have a black wall. So I've got a black wall that is that literally the entire room is black because I want 100% control over the light. I'm sorry, I want like a majority control over the light. The ceiling is still white, so I can get some bounce off of that. But in terms of the walls, literally everything in the room is black for walls. But it's got to be cool. So like the final version, once it's finished, yeah, fingers crossed, it's going to be cool. Okay, I hope. It'll be cool for me because I'm building it around like my work. Plus, I'm trying to make like a presentation out of it so that when I stream, it all looks cool and stuff too. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it's going to be cool when it's done. Let's see here. Next up on our list, and I'm pulling this one from the forum. I did the Star Wars gaming one. Let's go to Dark and Mythic. Dark and Mythic says that they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is tutorials on Minecraft and helping people learn the game. The question: do you have any tips to increase CTR and make thumbnails pop out? Absolutely. We've talked about that quite a bit, but just in case you're joining the stream, first, I want to let you know that we're talking about how to grow a YouTube channel in 2021. We're also talking about that framed around the questions that are being asked through the form that's in the description down below this video. It's free to ask your question in that form. We have a lot of them in there now, so I'm not 100% sure if you ask your question now, if I'll be able to get to it or not. However, you could put it down there because I also use these forms for video ideas and podcast ideas and stuff like that too. And just general ideas in general. So, because of that, for content. So because of that, you can still put your question down there and it might show up somewhere in a piece of content, somewhere else. So, but Dark and Mythic says that they do gaming content. The channel is tutorials on Minecraft and helping people learn the game. And the question is, do you have any tips to increase? I did that already. So, okay. So when it comes to increasing your click-through rate, first, it's important to understand that it's different for every channel. However, things that you want to make sure that you're doing when it comes to your click-through rate is you're considering a handful of things. One, topic, because it has to be something that people are interested in just in general in order to get people to click on it in the first place, right? So topic, title, and thumbnail are the things that you have to think about when you're thinking your click-through rate. Two, your click-through rate is impacted by those three things. So you have to think of how those three things work together and how you can use all those three things to help the viewer identify what it is that they care about or what it is that they're interested in is within that video content or why they should click on that video. And the same exact thing with your title. You also need to make sure that when you are optimizing for your click-through rate, that you're also optimizing your title in terms of the format of your title and that you're making sure that the thing that is most important for the viewer, the thing that the viewer is interested in, or the thing that is going to grab their attention to ultimately push them over the edge, is as close, or just to grab their attention to keep them reading the title, is as close to the front of the title as possible. The reason for that is because we read from left to right, and on YouTube, in some features on YouTube, they actually cut the titles off around the 50 character mark. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are, properly optimizing your titles as well. Because let's say that you're making, videos about tuna. I don't know. You're making videos about tuna, and your title is something like, and I don't know what the character count would be on this, but we're just going to do this for the demonstration. Let's say that your title is something like, 18 ways to make the most delicious, satisfying, and scrumptious tuna that you've ever eaten. Well, by the time they get to the word tuna, if the delicious and scrumptious and how to make might actually do the thing for you. And of course your thumbnail could too. But basically by the time they get to the word tuna, if your video is about tuna and they're looking around or interested in making stuff around tuna, weird thing here that I'm doing, but basically with the tuna, in that situation, the word tuna and the rest of the stuff could get cut off before that 50 character mark. So around the 50 character mark. So because of that, you would have to make sure that if you are going to take that approach, that it's crystal clear in your thumbnail that your video is about tuna. So that the person can at least identify it there to grab their attention, and then it takes them to the title, and then that wouldn't be as important. However, if you can reinforce it in your title, or just rework your title so that you're moving that towards the front, then it can be way more advantageous. So in the course that's coming out here and like right around the corner, in that course, one of the examples that I gave in there was around the MacBook. And basically the thing is, if you're talking about the MacBook and you're trying to grab attention and let people know that your video is about the MacBook, of course, you'd want to use imagery in that particular thumbnail about the MacBook so that people would be able to identify this is about the MacBook. But then you would also want to make sure that if you have to rewrite the title 15 times in order to come up with an idea that would move the word MacBook to the front of that title as close as possible, you definitely want to do it, because if somebody's interested in a MacBook and they're looking around YouTube and they see an image of the MacBook, and then they go down and to the title and they clearly see that, it's about MacBook Pro, whatever that you're talking about in that video, then the thing that they're interested in ultimately, which is the MacBook Pro, you grab their attention with that, and then you tell them the 10 things that they didn't know that were awesome about the MacBook. You tell them that after you've grabbed their attention with the thing that they're interested in. So when you're trying to improve your click-through rate, you have to think of things like that so that you can make sure that you're focusing on the things that the viewer cares about, or that the viewer would find intriguing, or that they would be curious about, so that you can grab their attention with that sort of thing. And then you use the rest of it to actually be compelling to push them over the edge. So in that example, it's MacBook Pro, MacBook Pro. I can't remember exactly what I used in there, but it's like, MacBook things or MacBook Pro. I don't know. I can't remember. You'll have to get the course to know the exact, the thing that I use. But basically the idea is that making sure that you're putting the thing that the user on YouTube, the person on YouTube that they care about the most, towards the front of the title, or that you just make it crystal clear in the thumbnail that the video is about that, or hit it a home run by doing both. Okay, next up on our list, we have Dark and Mythic again. Is this the same? Nope, same one. Okay, next up on the list, we have Shift Played. Shift Played. They do gameplay and gaming tutorials. The goal of the channel is to reach 100,000 subs and be a successful YouTuber. So out of curiosity, and this is going to be a little bit longer and I'm actually curious to see the feedback that I get on this. But when it comes to a successful YouTuber, because you have like a 200 character limit, so of course it's got to be lower than that. But out of curiosity, and I'm going to pin one of these to the screen because I'm just curious. I just want to see what they are as they come in. But for you, what is being a successful YouTuber? Because we all have different interpretations of that. So me being a successful YouTuber is, one, adding enough value to other people that you are also able to have like a cool lifestyle for yourself, right? So that you have, both of those things. So it's kind of like a give and get situation. That's my interpretation of a successful YouTuber. So it's basically somebody that's, they're putting out that value, and then through the value that they're providing, they're also able to have a cool lifestyle for themselves, whatever that looks like to that particular person. So for some people, that could be sitting on a beach drinking margaritas. For other people, that could be waking up every day and just being able to make videos and not have to, go work somewhere that they don't enjoy, right? Because we all have different interpretations of what that means. But I would just love to see what that is. Okay, so the first one that we have here, and this is from the Whiskey Dictionary. What's up, dude? I hope that you're doing awesome. Says successful YouTuber, make enough money for the channel to be fully supportive of the, let's see here, to be, and I'm going to pin some of these here. So successful YouTuber, make enough money from the channel to be fully supportive of the channel, but also allow for buying some cool gear and the occasional treat/trip for myself and family. Nice. Now I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. We're going to see what else. Party rental knowledge. Successful YouTuber for them is creating a community of over 1,000 people. Nice. Next. We got Paul Peck saying grilled tuna medium rare. Oh, let's see as we scroll down. YouTube keeps talking about A/B thumbnails, but I've been hearing rumors forever. Yeah, Card Zone Max. So YouTube's been talking about having their own A/B testing for a long time. They've actually rolled it out. Some creators actually have had it, but I don't know if there were issues or like what happened. But they actually have, given it to some creators. They have it. They just haven't actually fully released it. Let's see here. What else do we have? It's not a tuna. Okay, so I see a lot of stuff here about tuna. Diggin' Life 21, thank you for the super chat.
Super chat.
Diggin' Life also. Let's see here. People are subscribed to their accounts. Okay, so not a lot of information came in about the successful YouTuber. It's interesting. Let's see here. Money is the goal, says How To Sailing. Hope that you're doing great, How To Sailing. Let's see here. Put a smile on somebody's face. Nice. Successful YouTuber. Let's see here. Able to live from the income from all types of monetization is another perspective on that. Yeah, this is just interesting, just seeing, what other, perspectives are. Let's see here. Creating community of over 1,000. Yeah, we got that one. Let's see here. What else do we have here? We have financially independent and able to focus on inspiring people to live sustainable and happy lives. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to get just kind of like, an idea of what, what people are thinking with that. So, okay. So the question here is, to be a successful YouTuber. Question, how do I make my viewers entertained and not let them leave my video early? So we talked about this more in depth earlier in the stream today. We talked about this more in depth, but the idea is that you want to pay really close attention to your YouTube analytics, because your audience retention reports, basically, it doesn't matter if you're on a phone or if you're on a computer. YouTube gives us the audience retention reports, which shows us second-by-second reports of how people respond to our content. So what happens is, from the moment someone clicks on your YouTube video, then they're like, hey, yeah, I want to watch this. When they click on your YouTube video, then the process starts of them watching your video. And what is happening is YouTube is actually tracking every person, at least logged in users, that are interacting with your content. And when they're interacting with your content, what is happening second by second is YouTube is basically they're tracking where those people end up leaving that particular video. And they're also tracking like where they rewind and things they skip and all of that. So what you do is you start looking at your audience retention for every single video, and then you start making improvements based on the fail points that you have in the video. So for example, in a lot of cases, especially when people are just starting out, the fail point is right at the very beginning, because they won't know how to grab somebody's attention with the things they say, or they won't know how to put like a tease sequence together at the beginning of the video, or they won't be able, or they'll start the video with something that the viewer's not interested in. Like, for example, like let's say that you have a video about quilting. Big win for the quilting community today. So let's say that you're talking about quilting. Well, if your video starts and then you have a 10-second sequence with nothing about quilting happening, of you going through the process of making a coffee so that you're like getting ready for the actual video itself, some people might stick around for it, but in most cases, you're going to see a pretty heavy drop in audience retention at the beginning of the video. So that would be a fail point. So what you do in that situation is you say, okay, at the beginning of this particular video, people like are leaving here in mass. So what was I doing? And you start looking for patterns across all of the content that you're making where you're getting that type of response. And then over time, and this is where publishing a lot of videos over time gets extremely valuable, is you start getting lots of data to work with. But basically, you start identifying over time, interesting. When I start my videos by being overly obnoxious, because I have a tendency to do that too. I do it in live streams also. But when I start my videos being overly obnoxious, it actually has a negative thing in my audience retention. But sometimes I'm just so excited to make videos that I just do it anyway. But, that can have like a negative effect on my audience retention sometimes. So, because of that, I have to, when I'm being mindful about it, I can start my videos to where I have energy, but I'm not like, too over the top. So, little things like that start to appear over time because you start to notice patterns in what you're doing versus how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. Now, of course, depending on how much effort and time you want to put into it, you can keep going and you can say, okay, so at the beginning of my video now, after, a period of time after I've understood, how people respond to the starts of my videos, I notice that people do these particular, or when I do these particular things, people end up leaving and so on. So because of that, I'm going to change what I do at the beginning of my video. And in fact, I'm not just going to change what I do at the beginning of my video. I'm going to experiment with a handful of different things that I do at the beginning of my video to see which ones keep people connected to my video, keep people watching my video. And then once you discover that, you can say, okay, I'm going to do that for a while. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I come up with other ideas to where from time to time I'll run experiments against that with different ways to open the videos to see how people respond to the different things that I'm doing there. And then you just keep repeating that process through the different parts of your video. But more importantly, if you don't want to do all that experimentation, you don't put in all the time into it because, I know everybody's, busy and all that, then what you can do in that situation is you can just look specifically for fail points. So then it would be, at the beginning of the video, if you have that drop, you got to fix it. So then in that case, you have to, if you want your videos to do well, you have to experiment with how to keep people watching in that beginning part. So you have to try a bunch of different things, even though it might be outside of, well, this is how I think that I should do my videos. If people aren't responding properly, you still have to make that change and you still have to experiment so that you can keep people watching so that you can get the result. And then after you get through that intro part, then in a lot of cases, people will have like, graphical intros and stuff on their videos. And in some cases, you can keep people watching through those, depending on the intro that you use. In other cases, you might use something that just completely turns people off and they end up leaving during that intro. And you'll see, maybe you held them here in the beginning. And then as they start watching the video, then in that case, your intro comes and then you see that drop as your video is playing. And you're like, oh, okay. And then it levels out right when you start talking again. So in some cases, it might be a drop like this. And then it literally stops right there when your intro stops. And then it levels out there. And then it might kind of taper off a little bit over time. But you start noticing all this stuff on your videos and that information that YouTube gives us. They give that to us so that we can learn how to make better content for the users on their platform so that they'll stay on the platform and keep watching videos and keep coming back and keep getting served ads, right? So, and keep interacting with, all the other content creators that are uploading videos to the platform. So, because of that, in order to keep people watching your videos, you have to start really digging into how people are responding to the videos that you're making. All right. Next up. Oh, you know what? I have a button for that.
Thanks for watching.
That's not it. That's not it. Wrong button.
If you're enjoying the show,
that's not it either.
Remember to
How about this one? Come on, man. All right. I'm just going to keep hitting this while I do this next question. Okay. You know what? I think I had, let's see. I think some channel members came in here really quick.
Next question.
There it is. A little bit late there. Okay. So really quick, I want to welcome
Welcome to the Nimminati.
So we have Thrill Seeks. Welcome to the Nimminati. The Urban Astronomer. Welcome to the Nimminati. Motaz Zone. Welcome to the Nimminati. Welcome back to Nimminati. So for all of you, next time you're on Facebook, look for Nimminati VIP. That's where we're doing our live stream on our members only live stream. We do that on Facebook. And I'm going to be doing that on Monday evening. So make sure that you go look for Nimminati VIP on Facebook, fill out all the stuff on the way in, because that's how I verify that you're a member. And you can also find a direct link through the members only content here on the channel as well in the video descriptions there. But make sure you go over there and you do that. So here's the thing. So you joined just now. So when you have time, either today or tomorrow, make sure that you go and you join the Facebook group. And then on Monday, because it's late, like right here, it's like 11:13. So by the time I end the stream, it's super late. And we still have to drive to the new place now. So I won't be adding them tonight, most likely. I might tomorrow if I get in front of a computer, but if not, typically I add the new members on a Monday. So because of that, Sunday sometimes, but usually it's on a Monday. So I'll be adding you like early Monday. As soon as I get in front of a computer, that's like the very first thing that I do is I open up that group. So just a heads up. make sure that you join over there so you can participate in that live stream. Okay. Next up on the list is Totally Beads. Oh, let me check something here really quick. Totally Beads says that they do daily content. The type of content is education / how-to, the gold channels, to educate people about jewelry making and to drive people to our website. The question, I'm looking to take on more stuff. I need help with video editing and managing social media platforms. We're big on Facebook, but have plans to expand this year. Question, where do I get help? We already have a graphic designer and a photographer working for us full time, but I guess the job I need to fill, it doesn't have to be in a physical location. I just need someone trustworthy and good. Okay, so for video editing, you can definitely try VidCharge. VidCharge, it's a video editing service that we are starting this month. And with VidCharge, it's a premium editing service. So basically what we're doing is for the first people that actually come on board, we're actually going to be doing some consulting with them as well in terms of, helping them edit for retention and basically just giving advice on how they can make videos better. You can definitely check that out. In addition to that, you have places like Upwork. If you're looking for remote workers, you have places like Upwork. I think another one is like Angel's List, I believe. You have Fiverr technically. But if you want somebody that's like good, I would definitely try like Upwork. You can also try some of the video editing forums on Reddit as well. If you already have a YouTube channel, you already have a following elsewhere, you can also make a community post either on Facebook or on YouTube where you can just let your community know that you're looking for help. Typically, like I've personally found, the best help comes from the people that you're already like involved with in your community. So, you can also do that for the sake of, being able to tap into the people that are already familiar with what it is that you're doing, how you're doing it. They understand the mission that you're on, and they're like happy to be on board because, they're already interacting with what it is that you're doing anyway. I would definitely reach out to the community first and see if you have anybody, come in from that. When you are doing things remotely, I would definitely make sure that you fill out have them fill out like a form, maybe hop on, some calls with them and things like that if you're not familiar with them already, so that you can, just interview them, go through the normal process that you would just like your in-house people. But you can use some of those places to find people to help you with what it is that you're doing. Let's see here. Another super chat came in, and this is from Party Rental Knowledge. Says, can you break down your description and how you place and describe your affiliate links and why, and tips to help promote in the description and out? Okay. So with my descriptions, I actually do them differently sometimes. So like my live stream descriptions are different than my video descriptions because of what we do on the live stream. So I have a template that I use through TubeBuddy. I have a template that I use for my live streams, and I have a template that I use for my videos. Within that template, the very top, I always leave open for myself to where I will, that's where I'll put the actual description of what it is that I'm talking about. Now, the order of the links that you see in my descriptions are basically based on the things that I need to or want to bring attention to first. So as an example, the first thing you'll see is the actual description of the, piece of content. Underneath that, like in this situation right now, if you go into the description, you are going to see that the next things that you see are the stream sponsors. And that's because those are the things that, help this even be possible at all. So because of that, I want to make sure that as you're scrolling down in the description to get to that form, that you see them and that you have the option to click on them, learn more about them, and so on. Another thing that you're going to see underneath that is you're going to see other channels that contribute to this live stream. So today I'm just doing this solo. However, you see people that continually contribute to the live stream, links to their YouTube channels as well. And I have those so that when I say things like, hey, everybody on screen right now, links to them are down in the description. So it's easy for you to go and follow them because the people that come on the stream are kind enough to me and to you guys to come on this stream and share the knowledge that they have. So therefore, I want to make it extremely efficient for you to be able to find their content and their channels as quickly as possible. I want to make it easy for you to be able to follow them. So because of that, then, that's why theirs is there. And then after that, you have just general things that I want to bring to your attention, which in the live streams, for example, it's typically like my website or other things that I'm involved with. So you'll see Tube Spanner links down there. You'll see Tuber Tools down there. You'll see my podcast down there. And basically that section is just all different things that I'm involved with that I just want to bring your attention to. And then I also have Brian's book down there, and I have Sean and Benji's book down there as well. Because Brian, both, homies all the way around, but basically, Brian comes in the stream a lot. And, these guys, we also do, a decent amount together as well. But both of these people, like, I get DMs on Twitter, I get messages on Reddit, I get emails, people asking me about YouTube related books because they like to read. And because of that, I'm always mentioning these anyways. And at one time, these were actually as a part of our set in the live studio that we have in another place. So because of that, I was like, hey, I'm going to continually keep these down in the description as well because of that. And they're just awesome books for YouTubers because they teach you the foundational stuff. This one actually has an audio version as well, as a heads up. So if you don't like to read books, but you like to listen while you drive or something like that, they have an audiobook version of this, which I also have, and it's great. And the audio version's cool because you get to listen to the emphasis that Sean and Benji put on specific things, which helps you understand the importance of the specific things, the nuance of the specific things that they're talking about. So that's one really cool thing of the audiobook that you get that you don't necessarily get in the book. But then I have the actual form that I send people through, and then I have the disclaimer down there as well, letting people know that, it's affiliate related, or that there's affiliate links there and all of that good stuff, because I need to put that there. Technically, I recommend to people that you put some of those disclaimers, next to the actual, like if it's an affiliate link, that you put the, disclaimer next to that, or that you just let people know that it's an affiliate. That you let people know that it's an affiliate link. But if I talk about anything down in the description, then I'll, then if it's an affiliate link, then I'll typically let people know that it's an affiliate or a sponsor related link. Oh, and then I also have a link to the YouTube Creator Academy down there, and I have the form as well in this situation for the live streams also. Okay, so and about promoting. Okay, so if you have links in your description, one is people definitely, without question, go down into your video description. So they, without question, go down to your video description. People definitely go down there and they click on links. However, people go down and they click on them more if you let people know that they're down there. So one thing that you can do is, if you watch my videos on YouTube, one thing that you'll see that we have is that we have a little graphic that pops out, says link in the description. I'm pretty sure if you're a channel member and you have seen this in there and some of the stuff that I've given away in the Facebook group, if you've seen this in there, let me know. I think that I have it. I know I have some of the follow me on like social media stuff for like, TikTok and all that stuff, or link in bio. I think I have some of those there, but I think I have a link in the description one too for the channel members. But basically the thing that I have, it's basically a little graphic that pops up. And like when I mention TubeBuddy, or if I mention something to where I have a link for it in the description, Vigard, he actually puts that graphic there to let people know that there's a link in the description for it. So we basically spread that awareness through that graphic to, let people know that they need to click down there. Now, just as a heads up, when you are bringing attention to your description, like for example, every now and then, on this live stream, if I mention that there's a link down there, I will mention like, hey, if you're on a phone, then, you have to go through a little bit extra work. If you're watching this live stream, you're going to see like a down arrow and you need to click on that in order to actually open the description or for it to slide up now. So, like depending on what it is that I'm talking about, if I know that it's going to be something like that mobile content creators will be more interested in, then in that situation, I might mention something like that, because I know that some of them will not be as used to going into descriptions because it's a little bit more work than it is on a computer, for example. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so let's see here. Next up on the list, we have Totally Beads. Totally Beads says that they do education how-to. I think I did this one already. Oh, okay, yep, next one. Okay, so party rental knowledge is the next question here. The educational content goal of the channel is to make money the right way while helping people. And the question is, can I get a breakdown? That's hilarious. So your timing was just a little bit off. Timing was just a tad off. So basically I answered your super chat, and then literally, here, I'll show it to you just so you don't think that I'm like full of it here. Hold on, I'm going to have to tilt it so you can see it there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hold on, let's do it this way. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's your question right there. Even though the lights aren't cooperating with me. Let's see how extreme we're going to go just for this demonstration. Maybe that will help. No, it didn't help. It's just the screen's too bright. All right. So, how about now? There we go. Yeah, you can probably. I still can't. Anyway, yeah, timing was just barely off on that one. Okay, so let's see here. Next question that we have on the list, since we got that one taken care of, is from Trucker Curtis. What's up, Trucker Curtis, man? Happy New Year. Hope you're doing awesome. Says they do trucking content. The goal of the channel is to get watch time up. Got some tips for you here. Question says, morning, Nick. Good morning. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Says, so my channel brings in a lot of people searching for live truck driving because I rank #1 for that, but I also rank #1 or close to it for regional truck driver. What content do I double down on? Or do I continue to make both types of content? So here is, at the very beginning of the stream, I mentioned or recommended that people like write down what it is that they're trying to accomplish. They make notes like, hey, what is it that I really want to do on YouTube this year? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish with my channel? Like, what is it ultimately that I'm trying to do? Because, you know, the fact that you want more views and subscribers for all of us, right? The fact that we want more views and subscribers, it's built in, right? Like we know that. We're on YouTube, right? So in addition to the views and subscribers, like what else do you like really want from YouTube? Like, what is it that you're really trying to do with your YouTube channel? You want to think about the viewer side. Like, what is it you're trying to do there? Like for me, one of the things I'm trying to do for you guys is I'm trying to simplify my language as much as possible. I was listening. I'm not sure if you're in Clubhouse or not. If you're early in the stream, you might have heard me talk about Clubhouse, but basically Clubhouse is like an audio app. So it's kind of like live podcasting. It's incredible. Basically, I'm like driving around, like listening to it. We're like cleaning and moving and I'm like listening to it in the background. But basically with Clubhouse, if you're there, make sure you follow me at Nick Nimmin, of course. But basically on Clubhouse, I was listening. I was in a new YouTuber group and my brother was one of the speakers in there. And I was listening to everybody talk. And somebody mentioned batch creating content. Brendan, I think was his name. And he mentioned batch creating content. And later, another person came in and they were like, yeah, what do you mean by batching? And I was like, man, some of this stuff, right? Because like, you know, for a lot of people who've hung out in the streams or you've just been making content for a while, you know, like a lot of the language, you know, you get it, right? Because you've been doing it. But it just really put a strong highlight on like, wow, I need to really make sure that I'm being as mindful as I can because, you know, some stuff it's really hard to reframe in terms of how you explain it. But I'm like, man, I got to try to be as mindful as I can about the things that I say in my videos and live streams so that I can, like, I use the words dumb it down, but I don't mean that. I mean, just making things more beginner friendly. So like in this situation, somebody mentioned like, you know, like what's batching or what's batch creating. And I was like, wow. Like I just assumed that, you know, people would know what batch creating is, but she didn't. So I was like, okay, well, that means that when I mention batch creating, I have to be mindful of that. Like, for example, if you don't know what batch creating is, what that means is that when you are creating content, instead of making one video and being like done with the video, you make multiple videos as long as your content type allows it. You make multiple videos in one sitting if you can. And then what that does is that allows you to have more content with only setting your camera and lights up one time. Or, you know, only, you know, recording so many videos at one time or whatever it happens to be. But it's basically creating more than one piece of content each time that you sit down to make a video. So if it takes you, you know, 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours to put a video together, you make a whole day out of it. You take your Saturday or whatever it happens to be, and you make videos all day long in that one session. So you set everything up once and you have content, you know, you have all the content recorded for the next week or two. That's what batching is. But she didn't know it. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if she doesn't know what batching is, then that means I'm in my videos, even though I think that I am communicating things in a way that, you know, new content creators will understand. I need to make sure that I'm going even deeper, right? Like I need to go deeper and I need to, you know, really start breaking things down. So instead of making the reference of batching content, I need to say, you know, instead of doing that, you know, instead of giving yourself the prep, if I was making a video right now, I would do this. I would be like, so the next tip is if you want to make sure that you're staying consistent on your YouTube channel, what you want to make sure that you do is every time you sit down to record a video, instead of making one video and then calling it a day, if your content type allows, Instead, make 2 videos or 3 videos and just put those videos aside. And then every time that you would normally sit down to make a video, make 2 or 3 videos. And then what happens over time is you start to collect all of this additional content. And that really takes the pressure off of you as a content creator. And the really awesome thing about that is it helps you be consistent. It helps you enjoy being a content creator more because you don't stress about it being a Tuesday and you haven't uploaded a video yet, even though you have to upload a video today because you already have that content already made for you or something along those lines. I'd re-say that because of that little part right there about assuming that the content's already made, right, for publishing that day because they'd still have to edit it. But that's the idea. So basically, instead of like one of my goals I'm trying to do is just kind of bring things down even more and communicate in a more clear way so that it doesn't matter where you come in on the platform. As a content creator, it doesn't matter if you are coming on, and you've never had any experience with any of this stuff. Like I want you to be able to understand like all the different stuff that I'm talking about. So that's one of the things that I'm after, with what it is that I'm doing. I don't even know what started this rant, but that's basically the idea that I'm trying to do. Let's see here. I was talking about the goals. That's what it was. I was talking about the goals. But yeah, that's one of the things I'm trying to do. When it comes to YouTube and it comes to making this decision, back to Trucker Curtis's question, talking about, he has 2 videos that rank in high spots on YouTube and they're both driving traffic, but they're kind of different. Which one they should go in on? The answer to that is that you should think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish ultimately with the YouTube channel, and whatever serves that goal is the direction that you should go in. So if you are ultimately trying to reach more live people that just want to watch you drive your truck live, then you should double down on that content. If you want to rank for, or if you want to connect with people that are looking for information for regional truck drivers, then you would want to, lean more into that. Now, when you are doing that, and you are doubling down on one or the other, you just want to make sure that you're consistently doing, one or the other. Because in this situation, the specific people that are looking for those 2 different types of content might be, 2 different types of people that consume, that type of content in different ways and expect different things from it. So because of that, you'd want to go in the direction of one or the other, in my opinion.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. Okay, next up on our list here, we got Trucker Curtis. Samantha G. Samantha G says that they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do lots of different gaming content. The goal of the channel is to make people happy and entertain them, but also eventually make it full-time. Question: how do I know whether I'm doing the right thing on YouTube? Excellent question. You're doing the right thing on YouTube when you are continually trying to make your videos better than the last video. And when you are continually trying to learn more about YouTube in terms of using your YouTube analytics, which is basically your statistics that YouTube gives us on how people react to the content that we're putting out or how they engage with the content that we're putting out. But you do those things and you also just keep trying to improve with everything it is that you're doing. So that's when you're doing the right thing, is you're trying to develop the right skills. You're continuously publishing your content. You're continually learning. Just like if you're doing anything, if you're a musician, you're continually learning as a musician as well. You're learning new songs, you're getting smoother and you like how you're doing stuff, whatever. Like you are it's a continual learning process. YouTube is the same exact thing. So if you're continually learning and applying and testing and paying attention to what's going on and trying to modify things, slightly based on how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, then you're doing the right thing. Now, when it comes to how doing the right thing is reflected in the results that you're getting on YouTube, eventually it could happen in your first video, or it could happen 10 videos or 50 videos down the road, is when you start getting a lot more views on YouTube, then of course, then you're doing the right thing as well. But the thing that gets you to those views is developing the skills along the way so that you are preparing yourself and you're basically getting everything you're getting everything, doing everything correctly, or you're fine-tuning things. That's what I'm looking for. You're fine-tuning things over time to get you to that point to where you have something that at first it's just enough. And then after it's enough, then it starts getting better and better and better. But once it's enough, then you start getting consistent views. Your channel starts growing. It might be slow, but you start growing, steadily. And then at a certain point, then you start growing faster and faster and faster as you continue to fine tune based on, just looking in your analytics, your stats in YouTube, learning how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, fine tuning, and just repeating that process over and over and over again. Then that's how you pick up the momentum on your YouTube channel. And of course, the content decisions are super important. So what you want to think about is a lot of people when they start YouTube channels. And one of the things I was actually, after our live stream, actually it was our StreamYard live stream that we did, Roberto and I, last week. One of the things that we talked about after the stream is I was telling him how awesome Roberto Blake, who's on this live stream, and he just crossed 500,000 subscribers, by the way. So high five to Roberto if he ends up, hearing this. But basically, one of the things that we were talking about is he has a philosophy, I guess I should say, or a recommendation to where he says to make 100 crappy videos on your YouTube channel. And I love that. And the reason I love it is because during the process of that 100 crappy videos, what happens is it focuses you on making those 100 videos, not on the goal being, I'm trying to get 100 subscribers, I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And the really cool thing about that is that when your focus is on making the content and continually trying to improve over those 100 videos, if your focus is on that and you're continually like, okay, here's video 1, here's video 10, right? Here's video 10. Let's see how people responded to this one. Let's see if I can make an improvement here. Let's see if I can do something better with the thumbnail. Okay. So out of my first 10 videos, these are the stats that I have. This is the, the rate that my channel is growing or not. What do I need to improve? And you keep focused on that 100 videos over that time. Then the really cool thing is that focuses you on making those videos, which forces you to learn the entire process of being a content creator. So that teaches you to dig into your YouTube analytics, that teaches you to edit your videos, and that helps you get your workflow together, because I promise you, if you've made 100 videos, then your workflow is going to be way better than video number 2, because you've learned, okay, so I can record things a little bit differently so I can edit faster. I can organize my footage this way so that I can access it faster. Now I've downloaded a bunch of music tracks. So instead of going and looking for stuff, I've got like a little bit of an archive of music tracks that I can tap into and just pull them right into my videos so I can use those. But you start, fine tuning your workflow as well as your understanding of how the system works and, how your audience is responding to stuff. So it's just a great concept. And I absolutely love his 100 crappy video things. But the idea is, if you want to make sure that you're doing things correctly, is, focus on, making the good content and making that better experience for the viewers. Okay, so let's see here. Next up on our list, I see Doug's message here saying that we have a, let's see here, Jenny Bravo. What's up? Hope that you are doing great. Happy New Year to you. Tarantula Collective says, can you give me some tips on ad placements in videos, pre, mid rolls, and post rolls? What should you avoid and how many ads per video to not turn people off? So when it comes to how many ads per video to not turn people off, one of the things that I just always, you always hear me say it, like in live streams, videos, everything, podcasts, everything. Focus on the viewer experience, right? So of course, as content creators, to support what it is that you're doing, you should be making money from what it is that you're doing on YouTube. However, there's a tolerance too. Like you don't want to just completely stuff everything with ads so that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't even get through this guy's video because he got so many ads in it, right? So because of that, I definitely recommend the pre-rolls because the pre-rolls, like everybody's used to pre-rolls if they are not using premium. So that's just kind of like a built-in part of YouTube and everybody's using those. So the tolerance there is fine. Use pre-rolls, absolutely. You can use your post-rolls as well. Mid-rolls, you can absolutely use your mid-rolls also, but I would test your mid-rolls. So with your mid-roll ads, from what I've seen, the mid-rolls typically they actually don't cause that big of they don't cause like a big drop off with your retention in your videos. So I would experiment with your particular audience, but I would use all of them. But the ones that I would definitely use no matter what would be the pre-roll ads and then the post-roll if you are not focusing on getting people to that next video. So my thing is just putting all efforts possible into getting people to that next video so that you can just keep them coming back to your channel. So that's more of like the long game thought instead of like, how can I monetize as much as possible off of, this person or off of, the people that are coming through this video? I think about how can I keep people coming back to the channel like for a really long time, right? So that, so then in that case, you can keep showing ads over a long period of time, keep, spreading awareness about stuff and all of that on the monetization side. So because of that, definitely pre-rolls, post-rolls sometimes. And for the mid-rolls, in terms of how many ads, really, man, I would just drop one in there. If it's like a 10-minute video, I would just drop one in there. Of course, you can do as much as you like, but I would just drop one in there for the sake of, for the sake of getting it in there. If you're like, you know what, if they happen to see an ad here right in the middle of this video, is it gonna is it gonna mess things up? Because their system, is trying to figure out, where, their tolerance would be, based with how people are responding to your content, where the right place is to actually put the ad. Their system is if you have them do it automatically. So you can do it personally, but basically the thing with the mid-rolls is not everybody sees the mid-roll ads either. So, with the ads, basically not everybody's going to see the pre-roll, not everybody's going to see the mid-roll, not everybody's going to see the post-roll. However, based on the last time that they saw an ad, because there is like a tolerance, so to speak, in terms of like, hey, this is the last time they saw an ad, so now we show them this. So they could have seen an ad on the video that they watched prior to yours that was like a 3-minute video. They click on your video, they didn't get a pre-roll, but then because you had that mid-roll ad in there, you're still able to serve an ad to that particular user. So, because of that, then that's a great example of where you would be able to take advantage of that mid-roll. But for some users, it might end up costing you some retention on that video if they're like, oh man, this video wasn't even done and they have an ad in here, right? But, but typically they don't cause like a huge drop. D Nimmin in the house. What's up, bro? Hope that you are doing awesome. I would invite you in, but I'm splitting in like 20 minutes. If you want to come in, you can come in for the last 20 minutes. You are more than welcome to come in for the last 20 minutes if you want to come in, but I am splitting here in about 20 minutes. If you want to come on though, man, would love to have you on. All right. Let's see here. Next up on the list, he is literally a bro. Literally. Brother frame the same mother. Friendly Wire says, what's your average retention, Nick? So it depends on the video. So I have videos on my channel with like 70. I also have videos on my channel with like 30. I have one video on my channel that is actually a really good video in terms of the amount of views and stuff that it's gotten. And it's got like a 26 second audience retention on it. What do you think of that? It's an older video, but it has a 26 second audience. I think it's 27 second audience retention on it. But it's like one of the best videos on the channel. Because it gives viewers exactly what it is they want. So basically the pattern for that particular video is it kind of goes like this, right? For them skipping past a bunch of stuff and going right to the thing that they came in for. So you see this like just this U in the retention, and it just spikes up and then literally falls off. But they got exactly what they need from it. Let's see here. But for the amount of views that I get and stuff, like my retention's solid. That's why I get a decent amount of views, especially for like the space that I'm in, for the type of content that I make. My retention's absolutely solid for my content. I want to improve it this year though. That's another thing that I'm working on as well. I'm actually going to here probably in about a week, maybe 2, is with Vigard. He edits my videos. He's an awesome video editor. And I want to work more closely with him to where, we can just kind of really dig into the meat of my videos a little bit more. And, on my presentation side, in terms of things that I need to do, to help him be able to have the content that he needs to edit my videos for the sake of, the better retention as well. Like I know exactly what I need to do to bring it up. So we just have to actually put that into action, which we're going to start doing here in a couple of weeks. Let's see here. Jenny Bravo says that their channel was demonetized after a week. Yeah, that's not good. So I'm not sure what type of content that you make, but if it was in error, then definitely reach out to YouTube. You can go to Team YouTube, at Team YouTube on Twitter. In addition to that, you can contact them through the YouTube creator forum as well. Anybody, if you have any problems with your channel, you can talk about it there. Make sure you plead your whole case. Just be cool about it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. You deleted my channel. Don't like attack them, because then you won't get any help. Instead, be like, yeah, my channel was demonetized after a week. This is what happened. This is the type of content that I make. This is the video that actually, was that caused the demonetization of my channel, that sort of thing. Like, plead your case there. However, some things to keep in mind is if you did not maintain the subscriber and watch time requirements, then that can cause your channel to lose that ability to be in the partner program. So part of the rules of being in the partner program is you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time. And if you don't, then in that situation, they will, they can take you out of the partner program. Okay, next up on our list, we've got Samantha G. And Samantha G says that they do, we did that one already. Okay, so next up, we have Skya Siberian says they upload 1 time per week or more. The type of content is fun, husky vlogs and occasional dog training videos. Goal channels to entertain people, grow my brand, and eventually make moolah. And the question, hey, Nick, hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. And if I post a short on my main channel and later decide to start a separate shorts only channel, can I safely use the short video I used on my main channel and my new shorts channel? Basically, am I at risk of plagiarizing myself? So because you would technically be reusing that content, you can do that sort of thing. Like, for example, I have a clips channel that everybody here should be subscribed to. I've got a link to it down in the description below. That's another way to spread awareness about the description, by the way, is just saying it. But I've got a link to that down in the description below. You should all be subscribed to that because we're going to start uploading like 3 videos per week over there, like religiously for 2021. So you definitely want to be subscribed over there as well. However, when it comes to taking a piece of content that's already on one channel and then going on to another channel, then in that situation, what you want to do is you would actually want to delete it first off of the channel that it was on previously and then upload it to the other one. But really, it's a short, it's like a 60-second or less clip. I would just make a new one. Like I wouldn't worry about it. I would just make a new one. All right. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we have the All-Terrain Dude. All-Terrain Dude says that they are a mountain bike athlete. That's cool. And the goal of the channel is to help other mountain bike racers ride better through my own experiences. And the question, is there an off season for sport YouTube channels, and how do I grow my channel and get views during a slow period? My views have dropped drastically since October, even though I'm dialing in my video quality and trying to optimize videos for search. Okay, so I went on a rant earlier, so I really recommend that you rewatch this live stream. I know it's long, but I really recommend that you rewatch the live streams because I went on like a whole segment earlier where I was talking about the importance of thinking of optimizing for discovery and not necessarily optimizing just for search, because search is great. You can it's a cash cow, so to speak, for views. However, it's also, if you're only thinking of search, you're also thinking from like a limited perspective. So what you want to think about is when people are finding your content in search, they're actively looking for it. So it's kind of easy to win the click there. So what you want to think about is like, okay, I'm going to win their click there because they're looking for it. But I also need to think of the people that are coming onto YouTube that are not expecting to see my content, but they're still interested in mountain biking. Or being a mountain bike athlete. You want to think about that because your content is going to show up on homepages. It's going to show up next to other videos on YouTube. And if you can get people to click and enjoy the content from the homepage and next to other videos on YouTube, then YouTube's going to continue to show your videos to people on the homepage and the next to other videos or in the scroll on a mobile device, because you're proving to their system that when Natalie designed to the nines in the house. What's up? Hope you're doing awesome. But it's going to, Happy New Year, by the way, but it's going to prove to their system that when they show your content to people, that people respond, their users respond positively to your content. So because of that, you want to think of just discovery in general and not just think, oh, I can only go after search, right? Because there's a lot more traffic elsewhere, but search can also be a cash cow. For example, a buddy of mine, they have a YouTube channel also talking about YouTube as well. They are just blowing up right now. And a lot of their content is search-based content. They actually design their content strategy is solely based on search, and they're just blowing up right now like crazy. But they also make high response content in terms of, because people like they understand the discovery side of it. So they get tons of traffic from search, but because people respond so well to what they're doing, they're also getting tons of traffic from elsewhere also. So, it's really important to make sure that you do that. So basically, when it comes to answering your actual question, when it comes to doing things like from an off season, if you're doing any type of content where you have an off season or where you can't actually make that content because of the weather or whatever, that's where I recommend that when possible, that you make more than one video at a time or that while you're making those videos, you think about the future in terms of when it's off season. So let's say, for example, you are doing mountain biking adventure stuff and you're showing people how to, how to race and ride better through your experiences like you're talking about. Well, if you can make some of that content or even record B-roll footage, which is basically extra footage that you add to your videos so that you could talk about some of the things that you're doing during season, you could talk about those during off season to where you're like at your place. Let's say you're in your garage and you're with your bike in the background. It's part of like the set. Your bike is part of the set, so it's clear that you're into mountain biking, but you're talking about some of the stuff that you were doing before or sharing different tips and tricks for mountain bikers. But then you have all of that additional footage as well that you shot that you can also use. That's also new footage on the channel, so that you can use that footage to kind of illustrate some of the things that you're talking about as well, so you can keep making that content. So the idea is that you either record more videos than you need during the season so that you can use them for off season, or that you record enough extra footage so that you can actually talk about that footage or use that footage in your videos, when you're in off season. Other things is, even though it's an off season, you can also just talk about what it is that you do as well. And you can use some of the footage as extra footage from some of the other videos that you shot also, so that you can keep that consistency up with your content. But also consider the interest in what it is that you're doing might also, have like a seasonality to it. So like if you see, spikes, like, hey, in the summer, people are looking for this like crazy. If you go to like Google Trends, if people are like interested in this like crazy in the summer, and then, in the winter, it just tanks and like nobody's watching anything on this, then in that situation, then I would just put up maintenance content. And what I mean by that is I would put up high value content in terms of like the value that you're bringing to people and what it is that you're actually talking about, so that when people start getting more interested in it again, your channel basically, while everybody has been sleeping on it, and other channels that make content like you, while they've been sleeping on the idea that, hey, this is going to be, and people are going to be interested again in this in like a few months, while they're sleeping on that idea, you already have been putting out that content so that when people start actively being interested in that content again, your content that you've been making is going to show up on a lot more homepages because your archive of content is a lot bigger. And as long as people positively respond to that content, that could possibly cause your channel to really thrive and really blow up during those peak seasons, or during the the time when there's the higher interest in that topic. Because what you do in that situation is, instead of, let's say you have 100 videos. Well, if you have 100 videos on your channel, and you make those videos during high season, and then during the off season you don't make any, or you put out just like barely any content at all, well, in that situation, when people start being interested in it again, you still have that 100 videos that YouTube can suggest to people as they start interacting with your content again. Now, let's say that you, during the off season, because you planned for it earlier, or because you just talk about the things, you just give tips and tricks and things like that. In that situation, then what you do is, during off season, you create another 50 videos or 100. I don't know how many videos you upload, on a regular basis for your channel, but you create, an additional 50 videos or 100 videos or 20 videos, whatever. Then what happens is, when people start being interested in that topic again, when the season starts picking up again, you have those additional 20, 50 videos that can be suggested to people as well, because you've already put in that work of, making those videos. Even though the interest is low and your views are lower during that time, then you still are able to tap into that. So you can also do other things as well, using Roger Wakefield, because I like using him because he's in the chat and hanging out, a lot here. But one of the things that he does as well is he makes plumbing content, but he also builds entertainment into his plumbing content by doing reaction videos to plumbing content. So another thing that you could do as well, in your case during the off season, is you could react to other content around mountain biking. You could react to your own content around mountain biking and talk about things that you would do differently, or talking about things that were just outrageous, or things that people are doing wrong, or whatever it happens to be, with that type of thing as well. So during the season, it is like how-to training type, content on teaching people how to ride better. And then in the off season, it's more entertainment for like a broader audience, where you're doing more reaction type content as well. So, but it's all still around, mountain biking, of course. Okay, so let's see here. Next up on our list, we've got, let's see. Okay, next up on the list, we've got 09 Skyfrost. Says they have a gaming channel, Minecraft. The goal of the channel is to get more viewers. Question, can you suggest the best free video editor for PC. A lot of people love DaVinci Resolve. It's free. Doesn't cost anything, which is what free means. But it's the DaVinci Resolve is something that a lot of people use. And they really dig it. Let's see here. I see that super chat that just came in. Looks like there was another one here from Deo as well.
Super chat.
Deo says, Happy New Year, Nick. Happy Deo to you as well. And the Nimminati. Thank you for all your help. I started shorts 3 weeks ago, and let's see here. In a while, one have gone viral. I've gained views and subscribers. Looking forward to your advice in 2021. Thank you for that feedback on your shorts. And I'm looking forward to 2021 as well. It's going to be an awesome year.
Super chat.
Pisano RPG says, watching the live while eating a sandwich was a pretty big pickle in it. That's what I'm talking about. That's feedback right there. Putting us right there in like the real life situation. Like, hey, this is what's going on right now. This is the environment that I'm in when watching your live stream. So one of the things that that we used to do is my brother D, when he's in Thailand and we do the stream in the studio, he would always encourage viewers to send photos on like Twitter, and we'd retweet them and stuff. I actually think I have that in the description still. But basically, he would basically encourage people to share photos of them watching the live stream, and it was really cool because that also it just shows the environments that everybody's in when they're watching and stuff, and it just puts a really cool perspective. And overly humanizes, all of the usernames and stuff, from everybody watching. It just adds that deeper human element to the live stream as well from our side, because then we get to see like, oh, this is cool. Like this person's watching on a TV, this person's watching on a computer, this person took a picture, with like their phone, at the mall or like whatever it happens to be. A friend of mine, before we became like friends, actually, he sent a picture. It was before we were doing that in the live streams. He sent a picture of him listening to a live stream while he was driving down the highway in his Tesla. He was listening to it, of course, but his girlfriend took the picture of them listening to it in the as he's cruising down the highway in the Tesla. That was pretty cool. But it's just cool, seeing that kind of stuff. Just kind of gives you some perspective, and hearing that you're eating a sandwich somewhere with a big pickle in it puts the picture in my mind like, hey, they're enjoying that sandwich. They've got a big pickle in it, and they're enjoying the stream. Nice. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out. 2021, this is going to be a great year for everybody. So with 2021 here, now that we're in it. So again, I mentioned this in the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you, if you were here for the beginning of the stream. If not, then one of the things that we talked about in the very beginning of the stream is making sure that you think about 2020 or 2019 actually, and think about, at that point in time, if you're like, what, this year I'm going to take my YouTube channel seriously, I'm going to do the thing, and you didn't, now's your chance, right? So if you did set a New Year's resolution about your channel and you're like, what, this is the year I'm going to make this happen, especially, I know the world's changing right now and a lot of people are like inside and like work situations are changing and things like that. Now, because, a lot of people are like, working from home, stuff like that. So, people don't have to commute, so they can dedicate more time to their channels and things like that for that, like extra income if need be, or just for something to do for, to really tap into their hobbies. Cause a lot of people are doing that now too, because they're, inside and all that, or just not going out as much. So, because of that, like this can be the year that, that you can really, take advantage of YouTube as a platform and use it as one of the things that you can do to grow your presence on the internet. And the really cool thing, like once you do grow your presence on the internet, just to have some real talk with you here, one of the really cool things, like once you do grow your presence on the internet is, in addition to it just being cool because, it gives you a cool opportunity, it also is cool because it also presents a lot of opportunities. And it's not just things like, speaking and stuff like that, because that's different for different niches and, some channels that won't even apply to, but even little things like, for example, like with Clubhouse, we'll talk about that. So like with that app, like currently it's invite only, but one of the cool things about it is, people, that have friends that, that have like some like influence and things like that. Like, people will start, instead of people having to seek invites, people just start like reaching out. Hey, do you need an invite? Do you need an invite? Like Dan Courier, he reached out to me and he's like, hey, dude, you need an invite? I'm like, yeah, actually, I would love one. I've heard about it. Let me go in and check it out. So he gave me that. Now I'm like totally obsessed with it. It's pretty cool. D's on there too as well. So if you guys are on Clubhouse, make sure you follow us there. But like, one of the really cool things about it, and in addition to the other stuff, is it just opens doors that might be a little bit more difficult to open otherwise. So that's really cool. And another really cool thing about having some type of like presence on the internet is it gives you a voice in moments where you might want to share something that's important to you that you want other people to hear. It gives you that opportunity to do that and to be able to impact a lot of people in a small amount of time. And that's really cool. So it's either to get your message out or to share a thought that you have or to share a view on something that you have or to just directly impact people in major or minor ways. It's really awesome for that as well. So, I really encourage you if you are in any way seriously or serious about growing a YouTube channel, I really encourage you to embrace this year and just dedicate like 1 year can literally change the course of everything it is that you're doing. And I really encourage you, if you're one of the people, if you're like a hobbyist, it's not a big deal. But I'm just saying for the people that are in here right now that are like, I really want to do something, with the internet, and I really want to, leverage YouTube as part of that. I really encourage you to just dedicate and say, no matter what, I'm going to upload a video, at least one video per week, for the next 52 weeks. And I'm going to try to improve every single video. And I'm going to try to connect to my audience in as many levels as I possibly can. And I'm like, this is your year. This is your opportunity to do it. Because if you don't, then, this time next year, you're going to be like, oh, I should do it this year. Right. I mean, we all do that, with all the different resolutions and stuff that we make. So, I just really encourage you to do that because, it can be a really awesome experience. And it's so cool too, because, like a lot of you already, like being able to also connect with other people that are into what it is that you're doing, like that by itself is like magical in my opinion. So like even with that, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So I just encourage you to just take it seriously, like with all the stuff that we talk about here during the live streams, as content creators, like, it's important to make sure that, when it comes to like the tips side of stuff, like when you're watching the video content or when you're watching the live streams, like this year, I want to help you grow your YouTube channel. And I want to help you thrive on the platform. Like, I don't want you to just start getting some views and I don't want you to just start getting some subscribers. Like, I want you to really thrive on the platform and I want you to really get out of the platform what it is that you're on here for. But the very first step out of that is knowing what it is that you're on here for, and understanding like what it is that you actually want out of all of this. And it can be anything, it can be that you, just want to connect with other people who like what you like. It can be that you want to be famous. It can be that you want to make money from it. It can be that you want to impact other people. It can be that you just want to, be able to have and play with all the gear all the time. It can be that you just want to wake up and live your day, like however you want to live your day, like whatever it is for you. Cause that's different for all of us, but like this is a vehicle that can help you do that. And I want to help you do it this year, but in order to make it happen faster, it's really important just to understand what it is that you are making videos for and what it is that you actually want out of it. So between now and next Saturday, please, write down your goals, figure out what it is that you're trying to do here in 2021 with your YouTube channel, so that hopefully, we can help you get there by, this time next year. So everybody, thank you for watching. 2021 is going to be awesome. Happy New Year. And I will see you same time, same place next Saturday. Give this live stream a thumbs up on the way out. And I will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. And have an awesome rest of your week or rest of your weekend. See ya.